Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, and streaming, and all sorts of good things. And joining us on this Thursday, the glorious day we've been waiting for, Morbius is in theaters tonight. I'm going to be going to see that once we're done the show here today, and also in a great celebratory mood because Morbius is Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, how you doing today, sir?
John, you know, with one exception, I am upbeat about most things in the world. And I'm trying very, very hard to be upbeat about this. I'm having a hard time, John.
It's going to become so easy, though. Once you accept the warm embrace of Morbius, ready to accept that warm embrace is Chris Carr. She's so excited for it.
I was just loving reading reviews, watching reviews today. Ooh, howdy. I was not prepared for how bad this was. Just going to be eating popcorn like bananas. But you know what? If you all love this movie, good for you. I think that's great. Do I think it's going to be my cup of tea? Probably not.
Wait, eating popcorn like bananas?
Like wild, like just shoving them in there. Not peeling popcorn.
Oh my God.
Ray, calm down.
And also sitting over here, I had to make him, he was just simply wearing too much Morbius paraphernalia when he came in here today. Too much Morbius bling. Had to get him to tone it down a bit. Ray Orris here.
Hey, I'm still trying to get that reference. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. That's why I asked.
Eating popcorn like crazy, like bananas.
Okay.
And guys, here's how today's show's going to go. We're going to break this show down into two parts. In the first half of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. Then in the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. If you'd like to get a live comment or question read on the show, simply use the super chat feature that's in the live chat here on the board. And of course, you have to be watching live to be able to do that. But go ahead and fire that in there and we'll read those off when we get to the end of the main topics. They will only be open for another 2 or 3 minutes. So if you've got a live comment or question to fire in, make sure you do that within the next couple of minutes. Also, guys, don't forget, if you're watching this show any of the other 22 hours during the day and you'd like to get a question in for me or Rob to answer, good news. We do a show a couple times a week called Mailbag. If you'd like to send in a question for us to read and address on Mailbag, simply use the tip link down below or enter it in manually at www.streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. You'll be getting your comment or question read on Mailbag if we deem your comment or question appropriate to be used on Mailbag. And of course, you'll be supporting our channel at the same time. And all of us involved here with the show, thank you guys so much for your support. Okay, guys. With that all down and out of the way, let's do a quick off the top here, shall we, before we get to our main topics. And that off the top is this. Now, you guys will remember yesterday on the show, we had to talk about the unfortunate, sad news that Hollywood icon Bruce Willis was needing to step away from acting, de facto retiring from acting. And while, you know, I have been critical of Bruce Willis's efforts the last 10, 15 years of acting, just kind of phoning it in. The reality is he is a first ballot Hall of Famer actor. The guy's incredible, and we reviewed and went down his career. Even if you take the Die Hard movies out, still a Hall of Fame career. That's how good of a career he's had and how much he has contributed to us as film fans over the years. Well, we're hearing some stuff right now that's coming out in an article in Variety that honestly I'm finding a little bit disturbing. And what's coming out right now in this article in Variety is basically the idea is this, is that people have known for at least 2 years that Bruce was being affected by this condition that he has, that affects his memory, his ability to understand things, and his ability to communicate things, which is, I mean, look, that's as bad as having a busted foot if you're a sprinter. I mean, that's your bread and butter right there if you're an actor, right? But it's now come out that it was recognizable that he was struggling with this stuff for at least 2 years. But the people managing him were still putting him in movies, were still putting him out there on sets, and it literally got dangerous a couple of times. Now, I'm going to read a little bit of this article from Variety. And it said this: several of Bruce Willis's recent directors spoke to the Los Angeles Times about the concerns they felt while working with the actor in the years leading up to Wednesday's announcement that Willis had aphasia and is stepping away from his acting career. Aphasia is a language disorder caused by brain damage that affects a person's ability to communicate. The directors witnessed the effects of Willis's losing his mental acuity, which often resulted in the actor being unable to remember his dialogue. Mike Burns, who directed Bruce Willis in Out of Death, said that he was asked to reduce the actor's speaking parts in the film. It looks like we need to knock down Bruce's page count by about 5 pages, Burns wrote in a June 2020 email obtained by The Times to his film screenwriter. We also need to abbreviate his dialogue a bit so that there are no monologues, etc. After let me start that again. After the first day of working with Bruce, I could see it firsthand and I realized that there was a bigger issue at stake and why I had been asked to shorten his lines, Burns said, noting that he was ultimately tasked with shooting all of Willis's dialogue scenes, about 25 pages worth in the script, in a single day. You got to understand, a lot of movies will shoot like 2 pages a day. So they wanted to shoot 25 pages of the script in a single day. When Burns was asked to direct a follow-up Willis movie, Wrong Place, he was told the actor would be able to perform better. Burns said, I didn't think he was better. I thought he was worse. After we finished, I said, I'm done. I'm not going to do any other Bruce Willis movies. I'm relieved that he is taking time off. Jesse V. Johnson, who directed Willis in White Elephant, after first working with the actor decades ago as a stuntman, they shot their film in Georgia last April, but Johnson said, it was clear that he was not the Bruce I remembered. The filmmaker turned down a request to shoot more Willis movies after White Elephant. I gotta say, in reading that, this is very disturbing to me on 2 different levels. Also, there's a story that gets relayed where Bruce Willis, because he forgot what was supposed to happen in the script, he had a loaded gun with a blank in it. And there was supposed to be a verbal cue in the line of dialogue that he was supposed to say that his co-star heard the verbal cue, knew to duck, and then Bruce Willis was supposed to fire the blank. Bruce forgot the line, fired off the gun with the blank at the actor who never heard the line to duck and didn't duck. And nothing happened, thankfully, but it was a dangerous situation. There's 2 things here. Number one, the people managing Bruce Willis's career and handling Bruce Willis knew at least 2 years ago, probably 3. And I don't want to make big assumptions, but I think it's safe to say if they were having this type of problems 2 years ago, probably 3 years ago, they were able to recognize that Bruce was struggling, that Bruce was having problems. And I think for his management and his handlers to continue to shovel him out there to do as many movies as possible before his time runs out. And I think that's become clear now. When you saw the sheer number of movies he did, the Razzies actually made a category just for Bruce Willis. What do you do, like 8 movies in 1 year or something like that?
Something like that.
The fact that his managers and handlers were still shoving him out there to do that when he was clearly struggling, I'm not going to say I condemn that. I'm just saying I find that disturbing. So that's the one thing. The other thing that I find disturbing in all this is that when you are a film producer and you're making movies and you're putting up a lot of money for a small budget film, a good chunk of your budget is going into having Bruce Willis in your movie. And his management were, I'll say it, ripping off filmmakers, knowing that they were giving the filmmakers a currently, what's the best word to use, like when a quarterback isn't at 100%? But a compromise.
Deficient? Compromised? Yeah.
Compromised, I think.
His management knew full well that they were taking full price, but giving them a compromised Bruce Willis, who was simply, whatever his efforts were going to be, was not going to be in a position where he could deliver the best Bruce Willis. So I find it disturbing that they were still trying to take advantage of Bruce Willis by putting him in as many movies as possible. And then I also find it disturbing that his business people were profiting from films knowing that those filmmakers were not really getting what they paid for. And I don't want to use any other word other than I feel disturbed by this. This feels yucky to me on several levels. And especially now finding out that his condition's at the stage that it's in. Anyway, Rob, you hear this story. You've been on a lot of sets, like whether it's a physical impairment or, I mean, a lot of stories went around about Robert Downey Jr. at one point in his career was showing up compromised because of drug or alcohol abuse or whatever. But have you firsthand seen performers or directors, whatever, show up compromised? And what do you think about the story we're hearing coming out of Variety?
Well, first of all, this thing about Bruce Willis, it really, like you, I find it disturbing because how was it for him? You know, think about him on those sets knowing he couldn't remember his lines. And I'm sure he kept it together, but how frustrating must it have been knowing that he's impaired and knowing that he couldn't deliver the performances. I understand he probably, to be fair, I'll bet the mandate was work as much as I can. I need to have money for my family and for myself, as much money as I can make before I can't work anymore. I can understand that impulse from his perspective and his management's perspective. But on the other hand, like you pointed out, you know, you're giving these filmmakers, and they're not big budget movies, and a lot of that budget is going to his fee, whatever that fee was. It was substantial, I'm sure. And that's just bad business all the way around. And it's also, I think, kind of cruel, to be honest. Cruel to Bruce himself and putting him in this position. I haven't been on many sets, I can't remember any, where I've seen actors compromised. I've been lucky in the sense that I've worked on some, and I behind the scenes, I had a camera running the whole time. So I would know, if they were compromised because I could go anywhere with the camera. And I never saw that. I mean, one of the things, John, when you're working on big budget, and it's not always the case, but when you're working on these large budget movies, the actors have to be ready to go. And if they're not ready to go, it ain't cool at all, because you have a crew and time is money. Every second on a movie set costs money, John. And it's not a great thing. And on an independent movie, it's 10 times as bad because you're always fighting time.
And money becomes a more precious commodity. See, now I don't blame Bruce Willis at all for this.
I don't either.
Look at it, because if you listen to any like football players, right? If you ask a football player who's injured, hey, do you need to sit on the bench? Are you ready to go? A warrior is always going to say, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
That's why, like in boxing too, like Ray, you know this, in boxing too, like when they go to a fighter in the corner who might be getting the crap kicked out of him and say, are you still able to go? A warrior is going to say, I'm ready to go. It's up to the people in their corner to say, hey, I get it. You're a warrior. You want to go. But it's up to the people in the corner to look after their fighter, to look after their player and say, you're not ready to go. And that's why if Bruce Willis is a warrior, man, you're going to go and say, hey, can you go? Bruce Willis is going to say, yeah, I can go.
Absolutely.
I can go. Because that's what Bruce Willis does. He delivers, right? I'm ready to go. That's why I don't put this on Bruce Willis. I put this on the people surrounding Bruce Willis because it's their job to protect him and to protect the people that they're taking their money from.
Well, the gun story is really disturbing because, that's how Brandon Lee died on the set of The Crow.
Right.
And when you have those kinds of safety issues and people are, you're putting Bruce in harm's way and the rest of the crew and the other actors. And that's unconscionable. It should never happen.
Chris, you're hearing this story about, a guy who is, without question, first ballot Hall of Famer, all-time great. What are the things of this story that you're reading in Variety that stand out to you the most, and what are your first impressions?
Well, I mean, the gun thing is disturbing because that's also how we lost that DP Hutchins as well. And firearms on set, regardless if there's blanks or not, it has to be treated with the utmost care. So that is something that is very upsetting and shocking to hear about. We touched on this a little bit yesterday, how you can get this, right? How you can have aphasia. And usually it comes from a head injury, some kind of head trauma, a stroke, neurological disorders like Alzheimer's. So there's a whole bunch of different things that could come in to play here. Tumors can affect it as well. So a lot of people probably weren't privy to this information, right? Medical business is your own business. It's between you and your medical professional. So I do want to give some people the benefit of the doubt here that maybe a few people weren't aware of what was actually occurring. If anyone has had somebody have Alzheimer's in their family, you know how hard that can be of, no, they're fine, they're just forgetful. No, they're fine, they're just having an off day. And it takes a while for all of us to kind of get on the same page with, hey, actually, we really need to talk about what's happening with Uncle Charlie, right? In this case, too, I love that you all brought up the comparison to sports players because actors and performers have this absolutely in spades. We've got stage health. We brag about it. Comedians brag about stage health all the time. Sick as a dog, puking in a corner, going through this, but I got on stage and I was fine for my 15 minutes.
Yep.
And actors definitely do that because
Show must go on.
Exactly. And there is, even when you're Bruce Willis, I think, there is still kind of this I'm replaceable mentality. You know, acting is a white collar job with a blue collar attitude of, hey, I've studied this. I am very well trained. I have put in my 10,000 hours, but I could be replaced with somebody else at any moment. So I think there is that fear for him and his
You couldn't
team.
be replaced.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. But that is something lurking in the back of our heads, right? In addition to all the imposter syndrome and all this other stuff, I could be replaced by another actor who's at my same caliber, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure him and his team have a lot of these other things that they're juggling here. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't want to use the phrase in a gauche way, but there is a lot of mental gymnastics when it comes to how do you navigate something like this? And I don't know what the right or wrong thing is to do in a situation like this, aside from disclose when you can and be upfront when it comes to other people's safety as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, again, to me, it is the Warriors' job to answer the bell. It is the people around them's job to tell them when they can't. And Bruce answered the bell, and his people around him should have told him that he can't. And they certainly shouldn't have taken the money of independent filmmakers who were getting a compromised Bruce Willis at that point. So I don't know, Ray. You've seen a lot of fights too. Like I've heard you watch a fight saying, "Why are they letting this guy go out there?" But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
You would hope that, I don't know how long he's had this team, but through those years that they would actually have a personal care for whoever they're looking after. Same thing with boxing. Sometimes, like, people say, hey, you need just a coach without any feelings to win. But sometimes though, if the coach cares about them, they save their life. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a thin line on what decisions need to be made for a particular person or situation. This one, I think the people should have shown more care towards Bruce himself and for anyone that it would affect around him that he's working with. I mean, it could be a domino effect from what happens with Bruce to everyone around him. It's just a sad situation. I just wish he was in better care. And maybe someone was looking at this situation from the outside and gave their opinion. I don't know.
Well, look, whatever those situations is, we are still talking about a Hall of Famer guy and whose career in the coming days and weeks we will celebrate with great enthusiasm. Anyway, guys, question is for you. You hear about this story. What are the first things that jump to you? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's get into our main topics here today, shall we? And how do we select our main topics here in the John Campea Show? Well, it's really simple. You see, you guys come up with them. Whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first topic comes from Mr. Knight. Greetings and salutations, Campea crew. I just noticed that Disney Marvel Studios has just set the record of being the closest that the studios have ever gotten to a major film release date without any official stills or trailers, 100 days away, and the film being Thor: Love and Thunder. John, is it starting to look like the film may be delayed, or could there be another reason for such a hush for Thor? Perhaps Disney might present it as its CinemaCon panel, or could the events of DS2 directly affect Thor? That without its release could lead to spoiling the actual film? Thanks in advance.
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Mr. Knight. Okay, look, one of the things that I've talked about a lot over the last number of years, and thankfully we're seeing a change, is that for a very, very long time, the movie industry had this real problem of releasing trailers way too early. Like, way too early. Like, it's 6 months in advance, 9 months in advance, a year in advance, sometimes more. Realizing, and, you know, one of the things I've always said was, you're blowing your load too early. You get it, putting out a trailer, you're getting some pop, but pop fizzles. It dissipates like smoke in the wind. And eventually it's gone, and you're still 8 months away from the movie coming out, and you spent that money, you spent that energy, and the movie's still so far away. And it also led to a situation of when the movie does come out, it's like, wait a minute, that hadn't come out yet? Man, we were talking about that movie like a year ago, right? So what we have started seeing in the industry is a very good trend of shortening that window from when you first really start your marketing and put out the first trailer and when your movie comes out. A good 3 to 6 months, I think, is okay window. Once you get starting getting close to 3, that's cutting a little bit close. But even the guy who for the last 5 years has been saying, shorten the marketing window, even I have got to say, because today we are at the Wayne Gretzky mark of Thor Love and Thunder, 99. We are 99 days away from Thor Love and Thunder coming out. We don't have a single promo image. We don't have a single piece of footage. We have nothing. We have nothing. 99 days away, which is the closest we've ever been to the release of a major Marvel film without them starting their marketing campaign. What could be behind it? There are a couple of possibilities. Let's talk about possibility number one. Possibility number one is this movie's getting delayed. I would think they would have announced that by now, and I don't really believe they're delaying it, but that is one of the possibilities. We've heard word that there is still some reshooting going on with it, which is not terribly unusual, even this close to the release of a movie.
Not for a Marvel movie.
Not for a Marvel movie at all. But it is unusual that they haven't started the marketing campaign. I've heard some people say, well, you can't start a marketing campaign when you're still shooting. Kid, the first trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy came out 1 week after they started shooting the movie. So yes, you absolutely can put out something when something is still kind of in front of the cameras. That absolutely can happen. All right. Possibility number 2 is that the events of Thor, Love and Thunder are so tied to the events of Doctor Strange 2 that Doctor Strange 2 must come out before you start advertising Thor 4. I can't buy that one for a couple of reasons. Number one, we've had no indication that the events of Doctor Strange 2 directly tie to Thor 4. Thor is off in another galaxy, whatever. That's fine. But the second thing is this. What's the release date again of Doctor Strange?
Yeah, it was May 6th.
May? Yeah. No, they're not going to drop the first trailer for Thor Love and Thunder after May. So that's so I don't buy that one. A third option is one that I did buy into for a while, but I'm not so sure I do anymore, which was that they're going to drop it with Morbius. We talked about that before, that maybe dropping a trailer for Thor with Morbius, which was, the follow-up film to Spider-Man No Way Home. We got all the apparent ties in there, that maybe they're going to drop that with that big comic book movie. But I've heard nothing from people in the theater industry about anything about trailers being delivered, and that thing opens tonight. So I'm not expecting when I go to see Morbius later, and I know y'all are going to go see it tonight too. When I go to see Morbius later tonight, I'm not expecting to see that. Another option is CinemaCon. That maybe they're going to drop this thing at CinemaCon. That to me is becoming the best option right now. That seems to be the most likely scenario, although I'm not putting any money on that either. The CinemaCon has become a place where they drop a lot of big things first. And this year, Disney is doing a presentation at CinemaCon, and they did not do one last time. So they may be looking to come to CinemaCon and making a big splash at CinemaCon. So right now, and that's not for another 2.5, 3 weeks, which would put us real close to the release date. We were in the 80s then. We're in the 80-day range of when it's coming. But I think right now the most probable likelihood is we get our first trailer at CinemaCon, but I'm not really sure. Rob, even I am kind of raising my eyebrows about the fact that we haven't gotten any of the marketing for this thing yet. We are pretty damn close. Do you think this thing's getting delayed? Do you think they're going to drop it with Doctor Strange? Do you think they're going to drop it at CinemaCon? Do you think just, hell, maybe tomorrow they may drop it? I don't know. What do you think's going on here right now?
Well, I guess to me it's not that unusual in the sense that we have a Marvel movie opening today. We have Moon Knight that just debuted 2 days ago. We have Doctor Strange coming out on May 6th. So there's a lot of Marvel that they're still in the midst of promoting from 2 different studios. And I would say that this is what I think. I think they know that this movie is amazing. They know that the trailer is spectacular. And if they drop a trailer now, the onus is going to be moved off of all of these other projects, and people are going to talk about Thor. I mean, oh my God, did you see that? I mean, I don't know if they're going to play the immigrant song again or whatever the hell they're going to do. But I'll bet you, because it's Taika Waititi, I bet the movie's so also bananas, that if they were to drop this, that they would sort of curtail the thunder of what's coming, which is the rest of Moon Knight and Doctor Strange. And like you said, CinemaCon. I think that we're going to see the Thor trailer pretty quickly, pretty soon. I don't even think they'll wait till CinemaCon. But I think they're gonna let the, I mean, like you said, John, it's still more than 3 months away. That's
Barely.
Barely, but that's 25% of a year. So I don't think that it's anything. It's coming out. What's the release date? July.
July. I looked it up right now. It was July. Let me get it again.
It's July.
Yeah.
July
8th.
Okay, July 8th. So even if it's more than 2 months after Doctor Strange opens, so they got time. I mean,
it should be pointed out, the first John Wick, I mean, this is an extreme example, granted. The first John Wick movie dropped its trailer 1 month before John Wick opened. Of course, that wasn't a Marvel movie, and nobody thought that movie was going to be a hit, but still.
I mean,
you go.
I think that we're going to see this more and more because it's not like Marvel is an unknown quantity at this point. It's not like Thor's like, I wonder if this Thor movie is going to be any good. Like, I mean, come on.
You don't think dropping the trailer before the Doctor Strange movie that's enough time to market the Thor movie? I don't know, because May 6th to July 8th.
I've never. Well, obviously, look right now, as the person who wrote, Marvel has never been this close to a release of its movie without dropping its first trailer. Never.
But
now we're talking about another month from that. So I don't know.
But have two tentpole movies been this close in release too in the years of Marvel?
From the same studio?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Thor is pretty big to me, a big property now.
Thor's an OG,
It's a cornerstone.
And with all the actors that's involved, and then also Doctor Strange, we see this fireball coming too. Have they ever been this close in release? Two movies from Marvel?
2 months, maybe, but not often. But I think I can think of a couple, maybe one or two times.
Captain Marvel and was it Captain Marvel and Endgame or Captain Marvel and Infinity War that were really close together?
Well, I know Black Panther and Infinity War were really close.
Yeah,
I thought. I mean,
yeah.
But I think
these are sequels too.
It's been a while,
right?
But can you actually see Marvel waiting until 60 days before Thor opens to drop its first trailer?
I think they can.
I think they could, yeah. And I think doing that at CinemaCon would be bomb as hell. I would love to have it happen.
That would just be in another 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, I think that would be the way to do it. Or if you did it at D20, I think that'd be fine too. But we haven't gotten nothing, y'all. We got the Lego goat boat.
That's it. It's the goat boat.
We got Tooth Grinder and Tooth Bearer. Is that his name? The other version of it. And we've gotten some action figures. So I mean, there's some stuff out there. I didn't even think about this trailer, I'm going to be honest. And it wasn't until this question of, oh yeah, that is a really short window comparatively. But honestly, I don't need a trailer that far away from the movie. We're inundated with media constantly. I need it closer to the release date. I'm not too bummed about this.
By the way, somebody in the live chat, I want to make sure I get who it is because I lost them here. There it is. Body Snatcher in the live chat brings up an interesting question. What are the chances that maybe they release it during WonderCon? I don't know when WonderCon is.
Next week.
Yeah.
This coming
It's next week?
It's this coming weekend.
Is it in Anaheim again this year? Or did they move it back to San Francisco?
I'm pretty sure it's still in
It's
Anaheim.
in
I can
Anaheim,
double
yeah.
check that.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, could they drop this thing? I didn't even know that Marvel was planning any kind of a presence at WonderCon. But I mean,
I don't know either.
could they?
I wouldn't imagine they would. Yeah, it's April 1st through the 3rd, and it's going to be...
All right, so
looks
just
like
going to ask
Anaheim,
Ray,
yeah.
you think maybe they drop it with Doctor Strange?
Yeah, or just because the focus is with Doctor Strange right now. That's it. That's all.
I think they're going to drop it at CinemaCon. Rob, you think they
I
could drop
think-
it this week?
It could be this week, could be next week, or at CinemaCon, but sometime soon.
And Chris, you're thinking CinemaCon.
Yeah.
All right, so or it could be tomorrow. Who knows? Anyway, guys, question is for you.
John,
Yes.
I think that they might have wanted to drop it this weekend, but after seeing the results of what Morbius turned out to be, that they've held off.
Ooh.
I think the machinery of that makes that impractical.
Could be.
Because the wheels it's not something you can decide on and have that change overnight.
I don't think it was overnight.
Yeah, I don't know, but you think maybe they planned on releasing with
I think they
Morbius.
might have.
But does playing a trailer in front of a movie that ends up, does that hurt your movie at all? I don't know that's...
Well, less people will see it. I mean, look, they drop everything online, so it doesn't matter. Most people watch the trailers, but I mean, I think that from what we've heard of Morbius, I'm really kind of disappointed. I watched Jeremy Jahns, and I like Jeremy Jahns, but he made me sad. His Morbius review made me sad.
I'm not going to hear any of this. Morbius is going to be great. I'm seeing it later today. Question is for you. What do you guys think about this? We are closer to a major Marvel film than we've ever been without a trailer being released. What do you think's going on? Do you think it's a possibility the movie might get delayed? Do you think they're going to drop it this week at CinemaCon? Maybe wait all the way to Doctor Strange 2? What do you think, guys, is going on? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take just a minute and thank the sponsor of this video, Masterclass. Masterclass is offering classes on a wide variety of topics, like all taught by world-class masters at the absolute tops of their field. Each class is broken down out into individual video lessons, usually like around 10 minutes or so long, and members can explore at their own pace. And each class is supported by downloadable materials, lessons, recipes, or more that you can all find at masterclass.com. For example, are you into streaming? Well, you can take the Building Your Streaming class taught by ninjas so you can sharpen up on your streaming skills. Or if you're interested in independent filmmaking, take independent filmmaking from Academy Award winner Spike Lee. You want to get classes on how to direct? How about from Ron Howard? The very first one I personally looked up and got into was Business Leadership by the great Big Papa Iger, Bob Iger himself. And I was absolutely enthralled with it. I love every single minute of this stuff. If any of those apply to you, you need to try Masterclass. So I highly recommend that you check it out. Get unlimited access to every Masterclass. And as a John Campea Show viewer, you get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/Campea. Once again, to get 15% off your annual membership, go to masterclass.com/Campea. And thank you to the good folks at Masterclass for sponsoring the John Campea Show. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 2, shall we? Chris, what is our second main topic today?
This is from Xandersaurus. Greetings, everyone. Well, it seems there's more to the story of what happened at the Oscars during Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. According to the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, Will was asked to leave after he slapped Chris, but refused. Now Will is facing a disciplinary action. What are your thoughts about this interview, and does this change your previous opinions about the Academy?
All right, thanks a lot for sending this in. All right, so there has been a major development in this whole thing with Will Smith. Of course, we all know what happened at this point. Chris Rock made a joke that Will Smith didn't appreciate. Will Smith decided to walk on stage. He laid hands on Chris Rock, sat back down, went on to win the Academy Award for Best Actor, which I thought was well-deserved, and so on and so forth. A lot of questions have come up since then, like why was he not asked to leave after that happened? Then there was a story that went around that the Academy couldn't react quickly enough to ask him to leave. Well, now that the dust is settling, it turns out they did ask him to leave and that he refused to. And I got to tell you, this is making me reassess what I think should happen here. Like we're talking about an Academy level actor here. In now multi-time nominated, now a winner, who might be facing permanent expulsion from the Academy, which would mean for the rest of his career ineligible to ever be considered for an Academy Award again. And I have said up until now that look, let's take it seriously, but let's not overblow it. You don't take away his Oscar because it had nothing to do with this, and you give him a suspension 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. Bad, 2 to 3 years, suspend him, and then after a couple of years, let him come back, keep moving forward, and everybody's happy and everybody's good. I might reconsider that a little bit with what's coming out right now that more information's coming out about kind of what happened. Anyway, listen, this comes to us from our friends over at Joe Blow. As the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences is making it clear that potential suspension or expulsion is a possibility for Smith after the incident, their new statement on the matter also reveals that the actor was asked to leave the Dolby Theater after striking Chris Rock, but he refused. In fact, according to the TMZ report, the two Academy officials who asked Smith to leave were David Rubin, the president of the Academy, and Don Hudson, the CEO of the Academy. Apparently, they were furious at the actor, and there was a lot of yelling and heated conversations backstage with Will's reps after everything went down. Now, on top of that, the Academy has gone forward and they have put out a statement. The Academy has now put out an official statement about all this, and this is what the Academy statement says. It says, the Board of Governors today initiated disciplinary proceedings against Mr. Smith for violation of the Academy's standards of conduct, including inappropriate physical contact, abusive or threatening behavior, and compromising the integrity of the Academy. Consistent with the Academy's standards of conduct as well as California law, Mr. Smith is being provided at least 15 days notice to vote regarding, or 15 days notice of a vote regarding his violations and sanctions, and the opportunity to be heard before by any means of written response. At the next board meeting on April 18th, the Academy may take any disciplinary action, which may include suspension, expulsion, or other sanctions permitted by bylaws and standards of conduct. Mr. Smith's actions at the 94th Oscars were a deeply shocking, traumatic event to witness in person and on television. Mr. Rock, we apologize to you for what you experienced on our stage, and we thank you for your resilience in that moment. We also apologize to our nominees, guests, and viewers for what transpired during what should have been a celebratory event. Things unfolded in a way we could not have anticipated. While we would like to clarify that Mr. Smith was asked to leave the ceremony and refused, we also recognize we could have handled the situation differently. Okay, well, Chris.
Variety is now saying that this is not completely the case. We're getting a lot of different stories on this now. They're saying that most sources are saying he was not formally asked to leave. So this is a whole new can of worms here, right?
Yeah, because the Academy is saying specifically, we asked him to leave.
Mm-hmm. And according to this report, the description of events does not sit well with a few individuals. They claim that some Academy members expressed that they wanted Smith removed, but they also say that no formal or explicit ask was ever made. Another person familiar with the Academy said that Smith was asked to leave through an on-site representative. That call was made by Academy President David Rubin and CEO Don Hudson, who a source said asked Smith to leave the show instead of remaining in the auditorium for the rest of the telecast. However, the show producer, Will Packer, sources inside the Dolby said, was the key to Smith remaining in his seat. In the roughly 30 minutes following Smith's attack on Rock, before the award for Best Actor was presented, Packer walked out into the orchestra and conferred with Smith, according to two witnesses. Packer said that he and the production officially want Smith to stay for the remainder of the show. So the Academy, it sounds like, maybe didn't want him there, but the producers of the show told him to stay put.
So where does that leave everything?
Yeah.
Where does that leave everything right now?
Thank you, chat, for pointing that out. I appreciate you.
Because here's the thing. And this is a giant if what the Academy is saying is true, and they asked Will Smith to leave, and he refused to leave, let's cover that scenario first. And then let's cover the scenario that what if that didn't actually happen. So if that actually happened, I gotta say my feelings on the situation change a little bit. Let me give an example. If I'm throwing a party at my house, right? And you know, Ray makes a joke or whatever, and Rob, you go over and shove Ray and he falls to the floor, or you smack Ray or whatever.
And those awesome chicken kebabs that you made went flying.
Yes. Yeah, the chicken kebabs Ray made the other day were damn good. and I ask you to leave as a result. Like, you just created a totally tense situation at my party. You're in my house and you ruined my party, and I ask you to leave.
No.
Well, no, let's see, and then you leave. Let's say, okay, then you leave.
No, I'm not leaving, John.
So you leave.
Okay.
We'll get over it. Like, I'm going to be mad for a few days. I may not invite you to my next party, but you're going to come back again, and we'll work that out. But you're in my house at my party, and that happens, and I go to you, Rob, I'd like you to leave, and you say no? Motherfucker, wrong answer. You ain't ever come back to my house again. Like that's it. You're dead to me. Like, if you leave, we'll get over it. You'll skip the next party, maybe the next 2 parties, then come back and everything's good. But if I tell you to leave my house and you say no, you're done. Like, you're dead to me at that point. In my house, and I'm telling you to leave and you say no, you ain't got the right to say no to leave my house. So, sort of thing. So, does that mean I think that Will Smith, if this is the case, should Will Smith get a lifetime suspension? I'm not necessarily saying lifetime, but it might, I could see why that would make the Academy a little more pissed off. It's like, dude, this is our event. This is our house. And we asked you to leave and you said no?
Let's change that a little bit. You asked him to
I wouldn't
leave.
push you, by the way.
No. You ask him to leave.
Right.
But then Ann goes, no, you're fine.
Well, no, but that's not the situation we're dealing with.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
saying,
okay.
let's first deal with this.
Okay,
Let's say what the Academy said is what happened.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, then I get why the Academy might want to drop a heavier hammer on this and say, no, because what's the Academy supposed to do? Rob, you pointed out the other day, you can't bring out security in the middle of the Oscars and drag Will Smith in front of the camera. You can't do that. So he's got your balls over a fire, right? And I get that. Now,
How are they manscaped?
what's that? Best life. But if you use Manscaped, yeah, at least your pubes
You won't get singed. Yeah.
But now let's go to the other thing. Okay, let's say you're Will Smith. That happened. You're probably frustrated. Somebody from the Academy tells you they want you to go. Okay? Well, damn. All right, Jada, start getting your things together. All right. And he picks up his drink. He's going to finish his drink, whatever. But then somebody from the production comes out and says, hey, Will, we want you to stay. Okay. If I'm Will Smith in that situation, I'm nominated for Best Picture here and I got a decent shot at winning, my first Oscar in my life. And I had mommy just tell me I had to leave, but daddy just told me I could stay. If I'm Will Smith, I'm staying.
Say, thanks, Daddy.
I'll say thank you, Daddy, and I'm going to stay put until Mommy and Daddy come to me together and say we've decided you need to leave. So look, I'm not saying what would have been right and what would have been wrong. I'm just saying what I would have done if I were in Will Smith's situation and the devil on the shoulder said leave, the angel on the other said stay. I'm gonna defer to the one that told me to stay until at least I get my Academy Award. So then it comes down to who's telling the truth here. So I'll just say this. If the Academy's statement on this is just as plain as it is, they asked him to leave, period, and he didn't leave, I think they need to drop the hammer pretty hard. If what Variety and others are saying is that, well, yeah, the Academy asked him to leave, but the producer of the show asked him to stay, I'm saying, hey, do whatever you're going to do, but I probably would have done what Will Smith did and stay in my seat until I was definitively told what to do. So I don't know. It just gets, now it's becoming a little bit of he said, she said. And why do I even care about this at all? I care about this at all because this is an Academy Award winning actor who may be facing expulsion from the Academy and might be banned from future consideration. A guy who has it in him to win 1 or 2 more of these things. And I think that's a big deal. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. Chris, you've heard all of this now. I don't know, like, what do you think about the whole thing?
Oh my gosh. If he was asked to leave, I think that's when you leave. I know this is a very apples oranges comparison. I was at a theater event with someone once. They were very drunk. They kept talking and were being very disorderly. An usher came up to me and said, you got to get that person out of here. And I went, yes, I do. And we left. And I didn't get to see that show and I didn't get my money back. But that's how that works because we have rules in society, right? If you break them, if you are not adhering to the rules of the venue that you're in, that's what you do. It's kind of the same too when you got a friend who's out of control, like you're talking about, party in your house. If you're that friend, if you're the person who's out of control, I think it's best to, yep, you're right. Let me leave. Let me reset. We've talked ad nauseum too about how there's a lot going on with the whole situation in general. If the producer tells you to leave, to stay after somebody else tells you to leave, I'm with you. I probably would have stayed. I probably would have stayed at the Academy Awards because I'd love to be at the Academy Awards. But I go back to what I said earlier in this week. Then you should have issued an apology in your speech because what was said in the speech was odd and off-putting. And I'm so glad that Will Smith later on issued an apology. I think that was great.
A pretty good one.
Oh yeah, I would say so. And you know, you own up to your mistakes. You own up to the things that you've done. You own up to retaliating against something that you thought was not in good taste. And I agree with that. I don't think the joke was in good taste. But, that's not the way that you should react to a situation. Hitting someone is never the correct answer. So that still sits wrong with me a bit of, well, if you had the should I stay or should I go moment, perhaps then in that moment you should have addressed the people who told you to leave and give them a little bit of grace here and say, hey, that was out of line, instead of a few days later, or a day later, excuse me. It's a very complicated thing, though. Like you're saying, it's very he said, she said, and I wish that we had more clarity on it, and I wish people would follow up with Variety to give full statements.
Rob, let's go over to you on this. So let's look at both sides of this. Side one, he was just straight up asked to leave. He just straight up said no and decided to stay. What do you do if you're the Academy? Other side of the coin, you were asked by the Academy to leave, but the producer of the show themselves told you to stay, and you're getting mixed messages. What do you do if you're in Will Smith's situation? And if that becomes clear to the Academy, what should they then do, understanding that the producer asked him to stay?
Well, look, it's a tough call. And this situation really, as far as I remember, nothing like this has ever really happened on live television that I've ever seen on any event, much like the Academy Awards. I think that this threw people for a loop. I think there was no command and control happening. People are like, what do we do? Like, this is one of these events you don't think is ever going to happen. Looking back on it, what I don't like is Will Smith's conduct throughout all of this. Because after the hit, he went back and continued to scream at the host, causing the entire production to figure out, what are we going to do? Compromising the producers of the show because there was language being used that they can be fined by the FCC for using. It went out all over the world. Then Will Smith basically gaslit the world with a speech and even tried to excuse his actions by invoking Denzel Washington, a previous winner. And it just, the whole thing was bad all the way across the board. I think that this whole situation has put the Academy in a very compromising position because Will Smith, we all love Will Smith. Who doesn't love Will Smith? We all love him. He's Hitch. We love him. And the thing is, the Academy is now, I think, there is no choice. It is academic. There must be action taken. It has to be decisive. It has to be probably greater than it might have been if he had just sat down. He has to be made an example of, rightly or wrongly. Maybe the severity can be mitigated, but it doesn't matter whether or not he was asked to leave or not. It was his actions, the slap, the subsequent yelling, continued yelling, and then his speech trying to backpedal and equate the character he was playing with what he was doing in real life by defending his wife. I mean, all of that showed bad judgment through and through. And for that alone, I understand he's a star of megawatt power, and I love Will Smith, but I'm sorry, man. This is what life is about. When you make these choices and you do these things, you need to suffer the consequences. And make no mistake, there needs to be consequences here. Because the Motion Picture Academy is on thin ice as it is. They're trying to make themselves relevant now, and Will Smith has overshadowed the Oscars for years to come. Not just these Oscars, but the entire institution of the Academy Awards. This is yet one other bit of ammo that our cynical society at large will use to poke holes in something that I've loved my whole life. And it was, make no mistake, John, what happened was something that I don't know if the Oscars will ever recover from. I really don't.
I was going to say something like, people make mistakes, right? As long as you learn from them, sometimes emotions get the best of you. You make the wrong decisions. My thing with this whole thing, because we don't know what's happening in their personal lives and what caused this, but my main concern is the Oscars themselves. I know how you guys love the Oscars, and me, I like knowing who won the best stuff. Maybe this is conversations for another show, but the impact of this on the Oscars, I mean, for me, I'm like, this is just a circus now. Anything goes now at this most prestige, and it's so hard. It's difficult for a award show that's like been built on like this regalness or whatever. I can't find the word, but
prestige.
Yeah, prestige to actually this happens on it. I'm still in shock. I can't decide. I'm not going to say who's right and wrong because that's not my place. It's just my concern is actually of the award show and the film industry.
I'm
You know
totally with
what
you,
it
Ray.
does.
Yeah, I want to be talking about Jessica. I want to be talking about Troy. I want to be talking about Coda. I don't
Yeah.
want to be talking about this.
Also, do you know who also needs an apology? And I watched this yesterday and it really bummed me out. Wanda Sykes was on Ellen DeGeneres talking about how much work these three ladies put into being hosts of this show. They knew they weren't the most star-powered thing. They knew that it was going to be a difficult thing. They worked their asses off to make sure this was the best show that they could do. And Wanda Sykes, she was pissed, man. She's like, you know what? We busted our asses. Where's the apology? She didn't say this, but you could see, where's the apology to them?
And she was so funny.
And I mean,
Gosh.
they brought it. We're like, they couldn't post the show for what they did. They did a really good job hosting that show. They gave it their all. And who's going to apologize to them?
John, I want to ask you one thing. Can you see the Oscars doing a private shows for the time being? Like, just like hand it out, like not having a big presentation just for a while, just till they get their...
No,
No.
I can't see that. Like the whole thing about the Oscars is the bright lights, the red carpets, the pageantry. It's supposed to be all of that. By the way, I did want to point out one thing though. They in their statement, the Academy specifically gave a paragraph to Chris Rock, saying we apologize to Chris Rock. We thank you for your resilience and all that, and kudos and kudos and kudos. But understand this: there also is a little bit of butt covering here. Because, Rob, you brought this up the other day, but I was watching an entertainment lawyer on YouTube the other day talking about this specifically. While Chris Rock has declined to sue Will Smith, he still has the option to sue the Oscars
Yeah.
because he was at work. And at his workplace, his employers at that place did not ensure proper safety for him, and that could happen. Now, I don't know what the answer is to line up security guards. So I'm not saying Chris Rock is going to sue the Oscars, but I do think in that statement from the Oscars, thanking Chris Rock so much, I think there's a little bit of butt covering there as
Dude,
well.
I agree with you because if there is legal things happening here that has to be adhered to. You can't just excuse an assault.
But at the same time, I've heard that the joke wasn't rehearsed. They didn't know that joke was coming.
Well,
Does
it
that
doesn't
even
matter whether the
does that
Academy knew
even
that or
fa-
not.
Oh, right.
Like,
Okay.
if you're an employer,
Okay.
you are responsible. Like, I can't have a pet tiger in the studio here for when you guys come walking in,
Aw,
because
I love
that's
that.
putting you guys at risk. It is my responsibility to make sure I'm taking reasonable steps to make sure you're safe when you come in to do your job, right? And
you
so
let that vicious killer Joey Bishop in
that
for once
little
a
Joey
week.
Bishop in here. And so the Academy could be liable if Chris Rock wanted to say, "Hey, I'm suing you as my employer here because I got assaulted at work, and there was no security guard there to stop that guy from coming up here and hit me." So I think there's just a little bit of butt covering there
And,
going there
and
too.
SAG has been quiet too.
Yep.
Yes, and
SAG hasn't said a
I
word.
think rightfully so. SAG should be quiet until the Academy makes a determination
Yeah.
of what they're going
That's
to be
definitely
doing.
what's happening.
Because right now, it's none of SAG's business. Until I think the Academy decides what they're going to do, I think then SAG needs to take their lead from them.
Well,
And we'll see where that goes. Listen, we actually have to cut this short because we've gone way over time on this one topic. We still got like a bunch of topics to go. But anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? A little bit of he said, she said. Does it change your perception of things if the Academy straight up asked Will Smith to leave after the event and he just said, "No, I'm Will Smith. I'm better than everybody else"? But what if one asked him to leave, but somebody else from the Academy said, "No, stay"? I can only speak for myself. I would have done what Will Smith did. I would have stayed. Does that change the perception of anything for you? Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
All right, this is from Gen 13. I used to love the Spy Kids movies back in the day, but they admittedly don't actually hold up too well. Just saw that Robert Rodriguez is coming back to the franchise to write and direct a reboot for Netflix. It looks like it's not going to be the same cast. Honestly, I'd be more interested in a continuation with the brother and sister now being adults with their own set of kids. What do you think? Are people going to be excited for new Spy Kids stuff?
All right. First of all, great name, Gen 13. I used to read me a little bit of Gen
Me
13.
too.
I haven't heard that reference in a long time. All right. Spy Kids, I have a very close emotional attachment to Spy Kids because Spy Kids 2 was one of the very first real motion pictures that the company I used to work for, we were a small little visual effects CGI company. They were one of the first real big motion pictures we got to work for, that we got contracted for. Up until that point, we had done like little local commercials and things like that. And we actually did. If you remember the scene in Spy Kids 2, when they're in the heart of the cave there and the guy opens the basket and he pours the basket out and all the little animals, the little versions of the animals came out. We worked on that scene. We did that scene. Anyway, so a little bit of an emotional attachment there. I'm not a huge fan of the Spy Kids movies, but you cannot deny the impact they had. Because you say Spy Kids today, everybody knows what you're talking about. Should they have stopped after the first one? Well, no, because then we never would have got that movie job. But from a fan point of view, maybe they should have stopped after the first one. Anyway, now it looks like they're going to try to revisit this thing and do more Spy Kids. Now, this comes to us from the folks over at Variety, write the following. Carmen and Junie Cortez, welcome to Netflix. The streamer has closed a deal to reboot Spy Kids, the early 2000s action-adventure franchise about a family of super secret agents. Skydance Media has recently optioned the rights to Spy Kids with the intention to reimagine the franchise for today's audience. But the film has newly landed at Netflix. The still untitled movie will premiere on a yet-to-be-determined date. Spyglass Media owns the Spy Kids franchise and remains on board. Now, this is interesting. Robert Rodriguez, who created the original series, is returning for the upcoming reboot, which he will write and direct. Plot details have not been revealed, but the next generation of Spy Kids will revolve around the activities of a multicultural family. And again, that comes to us from Variety. I'm going to say this. I think this is a good franchise to reboot. I think there's a lot of potential there, particularly when you see what's kind of hot with families and kids and bringing the spy genre from just adult stuff to kids level. I think this is a good move on their part. I think this is a franchise worth taking a shot at. This could be really good for them. It could get an audience, and I think you've got a recognizable IP there. Why not? I do question bringing Robert Rodriguez back, though. And no, this has nothing to do with, I didn't like what he did in Book of Boba Fett. No. It's not that. I just don't think if you're doing a reboot, that you bring back the original writer and director. I think if you're going to reboot it. Bring in a fresh voice. Bring in somebody new to tell a new version of the story for a new generation and a new audience. That's, again, nothing to do with, I don't like Robert Rodriguez. No, not at all. I just think if you're going to reboot anything, I'd probably say it might be a good idea to get somebody else. I kind of am with the thought that I might even be more interested, instead of a reboot, of revisiting the brother and sister, and now they both have families of their own and kids of their own. I think that would be kind of interesting, kind of cool to see. But whatever. Ultimately, I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, I'm intrigued by this. Chris, you see this news. Is Spy Kids a franchise you think you can reboot at this point? And what do you think about bringing back the original writer-director?
I'm going to be super honest. I never saw the Spy Kids films.
Really?
Much to the chagrin of my husband. He loved those movies so much. And he talks about them all the time. He's like, you got to watch these. They're great. So I need to catch up on these. I will say I loved that gal in Repo, the Genetic Opera. She's fantastic in that. The daughter grew up to be in that
Yes, she
musical.
did.
So I love Robert Rodriguez. Say what you will about Book of Boba Fett. I really enjoy his stuff. I also went to school in Austin, so Robert was just kind of this staple for all of us who were kind of getting our feet wet on sets for the first time. And so I understand bringing in new blood for a reboot. I think Robert should be involved, but maybe we should get a new writer in here. Maybe we should get a new director just to spice things up and see where things can go. But again, I say that as somebody who's not aware of the original franchise.
Rob, what do you think about this?
You know, the Spy Kids franchise is something that can be reinvented for generation after generation. And I think that this is a natural. You know, it's a natural to bring to Netflix. I see it more as a series rather than a movie. I mean, they've announced a movie. Maybe they'll make more. It'll be a series. But
well, you got to assume if they're doing this, they'd like it to be a new franchise,
I would
right?
think so. I would think so. And I think it's fine, you know. And like you, though, John, it would be maybe if Rodriguez was producing and they're bringing in new blood or use it. I mean, if it was a series, bring in new directors to give different takes on it. But you know what? I also do appreciate when they bring back the original creators to work on something. So for the most part, I think this is a good idea. You know, I mean, think about the new generation of kids that are going to be inspired by this. And I can see a whole new, literally, you know, this is, I personally was not a big fan. I saw the first Spy Kids in the theater. And I was a little old. You know, to be honest. I mean, I was a grown adult when I saw Spy Kids. So what can I say? You know, it wasn't my favorite thing. It was no Agent Cody Banks.
Well,
But,
no, it was obviously it was no Agent
sorry.
Cody Banks.
I just want to say though, but I think this is a good. I think this is a good move. I think it's a good move all the way around. So why not?
For people who may have missed the joke,
Yes.
of course, the producer of Agent Cody Banks was one Mr. Robert.
Only
Byron.
one. I
Yes.
was the co-producer. I'm the only single card credited producer in the main titles. Though.
Of the Agent Cody Banks. There you go. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you like the idea of revisiting Spy Kids? Do you think this is a worthwhile move for both the studio and for Netflix on this? Do you like the idea of Robert Rodriguez returning to do it? Do you feel maybe it could use some new blood? Whatever you guys are feeling, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, we want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Athletic Greens. Now, I started taking Athletic Greens because I don't eat enough vegetables, and I was looking for a way to make up for that deficit in my diet of those vitamins and minerals that I really need in my system, and thank goodness I found Athletic Greens, and I literally take it every morning. You see, with one scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole foods, source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, all the things. And my wife got onto it, and now she absolutely loves it. You know, tons of people take some kind of multivitamin, and it's important to choose one with high-quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb, like Athletic Greens. So right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with a convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. It's just one scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Campea. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Campea to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. And thank you to Athletic Greens for being a sponsor of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, with that all down, let's get into main topic number 4. Chris, what is our 4th main topic today?
This is from Iman. Hey, John, I enjoyed your discussion about the February movies. Now, with April shaping up to be a very good month for movie fans, I want to know what your and your team's most anticipated movies in April are. Thank you.
All right, thanks for sending that in. And today is the last day of March. Can't believe it. Today's the last day of March.
Yeah.
Last day of March. This, of course, means it's Morbius Day. Morbius hits theaters. I'm seeing it in just a few hours. So excited. Anyway, but there are other movies coming out here this year. And I thought we would take a minute and let's take a look at April here. Let's do a little bit of a preview of the movies we got coming out in April. And then I thought it would be fun to break it down and talk about how we would order them in our terms of our anticipation of these things. So let's go over and take a look at the movies that are opening up here in this. Now, there's obviously, as there is every month, there's a lot of just kind of smaller limited release films. One of the interesting ones is The Contractor. That's the one with Chris Pine. That does not look very good to me, and I'm hearing mixed things about it, but might be something that's opening just in limited release. If you had a chance to see it, you may want to check that one out. Then we have got, where is it at? Of course, we have Morbius. Morbius! Morbius! Woo! It's the
I
world
can't
celebrate.
live without him.
Morbius Day!
He's
Woo!
gonna bite on your neck.
So that's coming out there too. Some for us to all to look forward to. Enjoy a celebration. Morbius coming out here today. Then now that's of course April 1st. Then we get into April 8th. Guys, Everything Everywhere All at Once. The Michelle Yeoh. You guys have heard me talking about this movie. I saw it this past week. Absolutely love this movie. Might be my favorite movie of the year so far. It is completely bonkers. It's fun. It's funny. It's got some emotional elements to it. It's so great. So we've got Everything Everywhere All at Once, moving from limited release to wide release on April 8th. Also, April 8th is a big date, guys, because we've also got Ambulance. Now, one that I admittedly am not super excited about, although I am going to an early screening of it in a couple of days. I'm not super excited about it, but there are a lot of people who are, and it's getting some pretty good reviews right now. So Ambulance also opens on April 8th. So we got Everything Everywhere All at Once, Ambulance on April 8th. We also have a little movie called Sonic the Hedgehog 2 opening on April 8th. April 8th is a packed day for release. Now, we read some of the early reactions coming out, and they were a little bit mixed, but nothing saying it's terrible. I really like the first film. I'm looking forward to this. I think the trailer's been really good. So we got Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Then we move on to April 13th. We have the Mark Wahlberg film, Father Stu. Very inspiring true story. I'm not a fan of the trailer myself, but I'll definitely be checking out Father Stu myself there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it could be a good movie.
It might be. Then we move on to April 15th. We got Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Of course, the reviews have been coming out for that, and the reactions we've been getting, the first reactions have been very good. A lot of them saying this is the best of the franchise, all that kind of stuff. I'm very excited about. I'm also seeing this in a couple of days. I'll let you guys know what I think about that. So Fantastic Beasts coming out on the 15th. Then we move on to April 22nd. We've got the animated feature film, The Bad Guys. They showed us a preview for this at CinemaCon last year. Did not impress me. I'm not really looking forward to it, but I will admit I'm hearing good things. I'm hearing some pretty darn good things about The Bad Guys. So that's something to keep on your radar. Once again, that goes wide on April 22nd. Also coming out on April 22nd, if I can find it, there it is. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yeah.
The Nick Cage film, which every time I see the trailer, I say, this is either going to be unbelievably awesome or unbelievably horrible. I don't think there's any middle ground. It's going to be one of the most awesome things ever or one of the worst things ever.
Getting good notices.
It's getting some good notices, though. But then also opening on, what do we say this was? The 22nd, The Northman. Opening on the 22nd. Which, you know, to me, I think this is, I haven't seen the movie yet, but unseen, I think it's a Best Picture contender. But I'm very excited for The Northman as well. Okay, so then we go on from the 22nd, and we move on to April 29th, and we've got the Liam Neeson film. That's what they really should just call all of them at this point. Oh, look, it's a Liam Neeson movie where he's on the cover with a gun. Woo! Big difference. This one's called Memory. An assassin for hire finds that he's become a target. No. After he refuses to complete a job for a dangerous criminal organization. A remake of the 2003 Belgian film, The Memory Killer, also a remake of 17 other Liam Neeson films. But you know what? It's still a Liam Neeson film, so I'm somewhat, at least a little bit curious. And there is our movies for April coming out. So I'm going to give you my list, all right? My April's most anticipated.
Boo. Get your list out of the way.
Get my list out of the way. At number 10, Memory, the Liam Neeson film. That's one. It's last place, yes. But hey, it's still a Liam Neeson film, so I'm somewhat inspired. At number 9 for me is Father Stu. Yeah, it's I'm not super excited about it, but hey, it's still Mark Wahlberg, and I like Mark Wahlberg, so I'm going to check that out. At number 8 for me comes The Bad Guys. Again, nothing about it looked interesting to me, but I am hearing decent things about it. At number 7, Morbius. Listen, this would have been way up higher earlier. I'm hearing a bunch of things that have been knocking it down the pole a little bit. So right now, Morbius sits for me at number 7. Oddly enough, being overtaken by a movie I'm not super excited about, but hearing good things, Ambulance. So I got Ambulance, the new Michael Bay film. Of course, you got Jake Gyllenhaal in there, so that's good. So I've got that at number 6. In my number 5 spot, I've got the Nick Cage film, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Again, that might be horrible, but I'd be lying if I didn't tell you I was supremely intrigued by this film. All right. At number 4 now, I got Sonic 2. What can I say? I really like the first film. The trailers, at least to me, look like they still capture all of that charm and fun of the first film. So I've got that one at number 4. At number 3, I've got Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Again, I think this looks good. The early reactions are saying this could be the best of the franchise. I'm hearing good things about it. It looks good to me. I love Mads Mikkelsen. So yeah, sign me up for Fantastic Beasts. At number 2. Now, this one's weird because I've seen this movie already, but I think it might have come way close up here anyway. But is the Everything Everywhere All at Once. Guys, I cannot emphasize enough how much you need to see this movie. It is so much fun. I didn't even realize till the credits roll that it was produced by Joe and Anthony Russo. So the Russo brothers produced this thing. It's bonkers. I think it's going to be more bonkers than Doctor Strange. I'm not saying it's going to be better than Doctor Strange, but I'm saying it's more bonkers than Doctor Strange can be. And number 1, it has to be, because right now it is my number 1 most anticipated movie of the year now that I've already seen The Batman, The Northman. Everything about this movie screams awesome to me. From the director, the cast, the previews. I'm a sucker for Viking kind of stuff. So again, for April, and guys, this is the best movie month we've had since the pandemic. This is a full roster of films. So for April, I got number 10, Memory, number 9, Father Stew, number 8, The Bad Guys, number 7, Morbius, number 6, Ambulance, number 5, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, number 4, Sonic 2, number 3, Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore, number 2, most anticipated, Everything Everywhere All at Once, even though I've seen it, and number 1, The Northman. So that's what we got there. That's what I've got for my list. Rob, let's go over to you on this. I want to know, how would you rank these in terms of your most anticipated?
Okay, I'm going to give you the movies that I'm going to roll out to see in a theater. Because they're not, I don't think I've got all on this list. Number 6 for me is Ambulance. You know why? I will see any Bayhem. Any Michael Bayhem that I can see on the screen, I will go see it. When I see Jake Gyllenhaal singing Christopher Cross Sailing, I'm like, I'll watch that. So Ambulance I'm going to see. Number 5, Fantastic Beasts, because as you said, looks great. It actually looks like a great big screen experience. A lot of cool special effects, all that. Love it. Number 4, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, just because I really want to see this movie. I've heard about this movie for years, and it looks really good. It looks really funny.
They've been talking about it for a very long time.
Yeah. But it looks really funny. What did I say? Number 3 was that number 4? Was that number 4? No, number 3.
No.
I don't know. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've desperately wanted to see that. It looks great. I love Michelle Yeoh. Hearing your positive feedback, I haven't heard one thing about this movie that wasn't glowing. Number 2. Am I number 2 now? Number 2, The Northman. Yeah. Come on. Robert Eggers is it's his 3rd feature after The Witch and after Lighthouse. Can't wait to see it. But John.
Oh, man.
Oh, I know where this is going.
John, my number 1 most anticipated movie, I am seeing on Monday on the Paramount lot in the big Paramount Theater. I am seeing the 4K Dolby Atmos restored edition, 21 years in the making. Star Trek, the motion picture, the director's edition restoration drops on Paramount Plus on April 5th. It'll be in the theaters for 2 nights in May. You can see it on, I think, on the 23rd or the 25th. By far, I've waited for decades to see this restored into HD. Now it's 4K, better effects than we've ever seen before, better sound. My God.
Oh my God.
My favorite Star Trek movie returning again. And if you haven't seen it, don't listen to the slow motion picture haters. Go see it for the first time. See real Roddenberry Star Trek, which we have been missing. The Star Trek hostage crisis has continued since 2009.
Oh, man.
Now real Star Trek is back. There you go.
Oh, man.
I know I'm not supposed to talk about
Robert
Star
Meyer
Trek on the
Burnett,
show.
ladies and gentlemen. Robert Meyer Burnett. All right, Chris, let's go over to you. A lot of really interesting looking films coming out here. How would you rank them in terms of your anticipation?
Oh, man. Well, in dead last for me, a film I'm seeing this evening is Morbius, the Living Vampire. I'm so excited. Now, I will leave my expectations at the door, and I hope that I am wrong, and I hope that it is delightful. But will it be?
You know what? If you walk in this studio tomorrow morning with a big smile on your face and you tell me that Morbius is the greatest movie ever, I will believe you because miracles are happening.
Miracles can happen.
Every single day. Every single day. It's wild, you know? people.
All right, what would be next for you?
Then I would go with Memory because it is Liam Neeson starring Liam Neeson as Liam Neeson.
Member?
Remember?
I first saw it too and was like, they're doing more cat stuff? That's weird. It's not on my radar at all. Then I would go with Ambulance because as we've talked about on here too, I just don't believe anything in this film. And I give Michael Bay a real long leash. He can do pretty much whatever he wants, but saying you can get through LA traffic in this manner is absolutely absurd. I would then go with Father Stu. This does look very, very, inspirational. I'm not sure about it after that trailer. It feels like it could be Oscar baity. It feels like maybe it's going to miss the mark. I'm not sure, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Then I would go with The Bad Guys. I'm a voice actor. I'm obviously going to go see animated stuff.
Yeah.
And I really like the voice cast here as well. And the animation style looks fun to me. Then I would go with Fantastic Beasts. I grew up as a big Potterhead, interested to see how this is going. And the reviews have been very, very good so far. Then I'd go Northman, which is not my kind of movie typically, right? But this does look fascinating. This looks like it's going to be just a cinematic feast. I'm really interested in this story. 3 for me is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. That just looks like fun. That's going to be so great.
I hope so.
It's either going to be amazing or total trash. And either way, I am here for it. It's going to be so fun. Number 2 for me is Sonic. I love Sonic. I love the Sonic movies. They are just fun. They are delightful. I loved those video games. I still love those video games. Sonic Mania is a blast. So I'm real pumped to see that. And then my number 1 spot for me, I cannot wait till I get to go see Everything Everywhere All at Once. That looks incredible. Like Rob said, your glowing review has me even more excited for it. All of my friends who have seen it have said they have not felt this kind of soul level love for a film since they saw Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is one of my all-time favorites. So I am just beyond excited to see that.
Well, there you go. Ray, I gotta ask
Let me
you.
just do my top 5 really quick.
All right, sure.
Because everything else can wait for the home theater experience. The number 1 is Sonic. Number 2, I don't watch animated movies, but one of my favorites, if not the top, is Megamind. And The Bad Guys kind of reminds me of that Megamind sort of thing where the bad guy thinks. So that's my number 2. Number 3, Ambulance. Number 4, The Northman. And number 5, Everything, Always,
Everywhere,
Whatever.
All at Once.
Yeah, and that's it. That's it.
All right.
We should all go see Ambulance together.
Well, I'm going to see an early screening, so
yeah.
I can't. I'm not tremendously excited about it, but we'll see. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. There's some really interesting films
Not a
coming
bad
out.
lineup.
This is a really nice lineup for the month. What are you guys looking forward to the most? What are you excited about? Whatever that might be, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 5. Chris, what is our 5th main topic today?
This is from Mr. Mister. Hey, John and team. Hope everyone's getting excited for Morbius.
Morbius!
Oh, are we?
Woo!
I have been looking forward to this movie for quite some time now, and tonight I finally get to see it. Well, I was looking over the reviews for this movie prior to heading in, and honestly, I'm a bit worried. I don't want this film to be bad, and I hope that when I come out of this movie, I can salvage the good things about it as my key highlights of the film. But so far, not much I've read looks promising. So my question is, what are your guys' thoughts on the reviews? And where is your anticipation level for this film before heading into it? Thanks, and bring on the filthy.
Woo! Morbius Day is here. I've been so excited for more. I've been talking all year. I've been talking longer than a year. I'm excited to see this movie. I honestly think the trailers have looked good. I've loved the clips for it. I think the character is great. There's so much to love. And right now, on Rotten Tomatoes, it holds the unprecedented 105%. 100. Wait a minute, it's missing a 0. Where's the middle 0? I'm sorry, that's 15%. So Morbius right now, I'm sure they're just missing a 0. Where's the middle 0? I was positive this is going to have 105%. All right. So 15%.
Even if you flip that, it'll still be bad. 51%.
Still not great.
That'd be great.
Wow.
15%. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at this, shall we? Let's look at this. I do want to point out, though. That some of the big major outlets are giving this a positive review. Outlets like Screen International, one of their top critics, Vanity Fair, is giving it a positive review with glowing words like, Morbius does eventually become a clustered slugfest, as all things must, but
That sounds awesome.
Slugfest.
But, as they go on to say, but for much of its run, it is a stylish, intriguingly toned story of a man trying to thwart mortality. So, of the positive reviews, it is a cluttered slugfest.
I'm in.
I'm in, and Ray.
I'm
I mean,
in now.
honestly, that does sound
It's
fun.
an hour and 44.
That's why I'll watch this 2 times
We're ready
throughout the
to
week.
go. Also, our friends over at Joe Blow gave it a positive review with the glowing review of a modestly scaled launch for the character that succeeds thanks to Leto's performance. Okay, so not glowing. Entertainment Weekly gave it a positive review. Logic and plot flow are generally treated like civilian casualties. Remember, this is one of the positive reviews.
Oh, that might be one of the great lines of all time.
Logic and plot flow are generally treated like civilian casualties, but the movie, with its canny mix of whiz, bang, violence, goth atmosphere, and high camp, feels pleasingly pulpy and urgent up until its last minute. So, yeah, all right, San Francisco Chronicle gave it a positive review.
I love it. No
Those
plot
are-
line. I love it.
Those are the positives. Those are the positives. But the rest of them are pretty bad. It's got a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, not good. Not so good. Look, we have been talking for a while about the fact that I am very excited about Morbius. But man, that excitement has been taking a beating like the jackal at the hands of Moon Knight at the end of that episode 1. From the early first reactions, which did not sound good, to the whispers that they took out a lot of the stuff that was in the trailer that connects it to the other MCU kind of stuff, to the fact that they held the review embargo until 23 hours before the movie released. And now the reviews themselves coming out, where even the positive ones are calling it a clustered slugfest. And what was the last one again that you just said you got to
That
remember?
plot and what characters
Become civilian casualties.
Yeah.
Those are the positive reviews.
Perfect. That sounds so perfect to me. Why?
I love this.
Perfect.
Why?
So, yeah. So, I'm not as excited as I was.
Come on.
I don't know what to expect.
I love
Look.
that your expectations just rising and rising, right? You're
Yeah,
like,
Ray, all this is like,
Bring it
always
on.
bring it on, Ray. It's just like,
because
this is,
they said the same thing about Venom, and then we were like, oh, let's go see for ourselves. And I liked Venom,
But
so
you
I
know
hope the
what?
same
Venom.
effect.
I think
I've heard
Venom's
that
great.
this is like Venom if you take away all the fun.
no. She's not. She's being serious.
Yeah.
I've heard that from several other reviews. It's like Venom, except Venom was fun.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing, right? And it's like, so I don't know what to expect. Like, I'm seeing this movie in T-minus 4 hours and 30 minutes. So I gotta say, my enthusiasm's taking a bit of a beating. Look, now at least with my expectations lowered, I might increase my chances of having some fun. Just give me some fun. That's all I'm asking for. Give me some fun. Give me some good vampire violence. And we'll see. And hopefully when I do my out of the theater review, and yes, keep your eyes on the channel, I'll do my right out of the theater reaction to this movie. Hopefully it'll be pleasantly surprised. Hopefully. But Chris, I'm assuming these reviews have not done anything to sway you
Nah.
one way or the other.
I mean, honestly, I am kind of just like, well, I'm going to go into it. I'm going to have fun with the disaster, because I will leave my expectations at the door. I did listen to some reviews. I did hear some things where I went, they did what?
Yeah.
They did for what? What is happening? It's a vampire movie. Why did they do that? But I have to go in with no expectations, right? You're going to hope for the worst, but prepare for hope for the best.
No, you probably said it right the first time for
Hope
you.
for the worst.
Hope for the
I
worst.
probably will hope for the worst and not expect the best. But I've got tickets to see this because that's only fair. I have to put my money where my mouth is. I got to see the movie. I got to see what it's like, actually experience it on the big screen to see what it's all about. And I can appreciate a bad film. Like, let's not get that twisted. I love a good pulpy film. But this doesn't sound like it's the fun, bad movie it could be. And if it's going to be that, then I would hope that it's campy. I would hope that it's all these other things. But right now, it just looks like a movie that maybe missed the execution and and just didn't have any fun.
Rob, look, we've been talking in the days leading up to today, right? Morbius Day. And obviously your expectations have dropped a lot. And now we're hearing from the critics and some of the reviewers are now dropping their reviews. Where does that leave you feeling right now for this movie?
First of all, why is it, John? How can a studio, I've heard many of trusted genre pundits in our space here on YouTube talk about the fact that this feels like a movie that might have been made in the 90s before comic book movies became a real thing. And I just wonder, how is it that this movie, on the heels of Spider-Man No Way Home and Venom Let There Be Carnage, how can they make a movie that's this unsatisfying? I mean, you have one job, Sony. You're making a movie called Morbius, the Living Vampire. There are so many great vampire movies in the history of Hollywood that you could look to for inspiration. I mean, go to 1987, look at The Lost Boys and look at Near Dark. One or the other. You go for Joel Schumacher or you go for Catherine Bigelow or a fusion of the two. Why do you make a film that apparently has no blood in it? When Morbius slashes someone, you don't see it. They cut away. Like I understand, maybe you're making it for kids. Listen, when I was a kid, you know what I loved about vampire movies? Blood. I like to see blood everywhere. I watched Hammer vampire movies when I was a kid. Hammer Studios, because you had busty women that were seduced and turned into vampires by handsome vampires that were bad. And I loved it. And I watched it when I was like 8. How do you screw up a vampire movie? How do you screw this up, John? I don't understand.
Lots of vampire movies have been screwed up.
But even, you know what? Vampire
By
movies.
the way, I don't know that this movie has been screwed up. I haven't seen it. For all I know, this thing's fantastic.
15%.
Hey, look, it doesn't look promising. I ain't going to deny that. But I'm not going to speak in definitives as if I've seen it because I haven't.
Vampire movies are like certain physical activities and pizza, even when they're not great.
What physical activities?
I don't want to get in trouble. But you know what I'm talking about. But I love most vampire movies. I'll watch any vampire movie. But bad vampire movies, there's a particular place in hell that they're relegated to, because even the devil himself is probably sitting there going, really? You screwed this one up?
You might love this movie.
Do you think the devil has good taste?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a man of wealth and taste. I'm telling you,
Played.
I am upset. I'm upset by this movie. I was extraordinarily excited. I love the design of the character. I love Jared Leto.
I mean, he looks great.
Looks great. I love Jared
the
Leto.
design is great.
He was in a movie called Mr. Nobody. Watch the director's cut. Everything about this movie I was excited about. Until now.
Do you got your tickets for tonight? Are you going to go see it tonight?
I was.
Well,
I don't know, John.
You got to see it. Like, you can't.
You know what? I'd go down and see it at the Burbank 16. You know what's at the Burbank 16? Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes, that's one of the few places playing right now.
I could not walk into a movie theater that is playing both Morbius and Everything Everywhere All at Once and not go see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Double feature day.
See both, because you can't proclaim how bad this movie is if you haven't seen it yourself.
I'm even going to see it.
I'll go.
If
I'll
Chris
see
is
it.
seeing it.
I'll see it.
It's only hour 45.
But I'm upset, John.
Yeah, look, you know how excited I've been.
Sony has one job: make good movies.
But let's not pretend like making good movies is some easy thing.
It's not easy.
If it were, then Netflix would be making great movies all the time.
They did something to this movie in post. They took out the blood. They made it something it's not. They cut things out of it.
Let's be honest. Blood in there wouldn't. If this movie is as bad as everybody's saying is, blood splashing in the wall wouldn't make it a good.
Well,
movie.
it would have added. It would. Come on.
The weight of blood has nothing to do with it. This movie was riding on the shoulders of Tyrese Gibson. So
you let Tyrese down then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What I am confused by, though, is this movie, they had time. They had so much time. And I think that's ultimately what does feel disappointing. And I say this truly without trying to throw any shade. It's just when you have that much time to play around with your film, and maybe it was too much time. Then they started microanalyzing things and taking things away and doing things. And again, I haven't seen it. I'll have to make these judgments really tomorrow. But from what we're hearing from critics, something really went wrong.
I guess I have to go see it tonight so I can talk to you beautiful people about this tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. You got to see it tonight so we can talk about it
I
tomorrow.
got to see it tonight.
Yes,
I mean,
please.
I'm going to be forced into something I know I'm going to
Because
dislike.
this is the movie that's going to shock the world. Shock the
So
world.
optimistic. I love that for
God,
you.
Delusional.
you're talking about how great Morbius is. How it's going to be so cool to see it at the Academy Awards next year with a line of security in front of the stage.
I'm already
Awesome.
basking in the glow of Moon Knight. Now I have to go bask in the glow of.
Oh God, how
This?
good was Moon
John,
Knight?
you've excited yourself into delusion.
I'm not denying it. I probably am, but I've been excited for it for this long. I might as well stay excited for it until I watch it tonight.
And
Fair.
not only
We'll see how
that,
it turns out.
you've equated this title with one of my favorite 80s bands, Duran Duran, and now I can't get that out of my head. So you've diminished Duran Duran
How? What?
by saying Morbius.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm like, so wait a minute. When did I say Duran Duran? Yes. Morbius.
Yes.
So excited.
See what you've done?
Morbius Day, everybody. Yeah, you thought waiting for Moon Knight was good. Ha! Moon Knight's nothing compared to Morbius. With its 105% rating.
Completely gone insane, folks.
Completely lost connection with all reality.
You know, I slapped you earlier this week.
So, yeah, guys, questions for you. What do you think about the great reviews coming out for Morbius? By the way, I should bring this up. My favorite review line, my favorite review headline for Morbius comes from a great outlet called IndieWire. And their headline reads, Morbius review. Jared Leto confounds in vampire superhero film that sucks more than just blood. Bravo, IndieWire.
Man.
Bravo.
Hold on. When this movie was first announced, we were like, why Morbius?
I wasn't. I was totally
Really?
Yeah.
I was kind of like, why are they doing a Morbius movie? So at least my expectations weren't
But
ever.
I think you're right. I think a lot
Yeah.
of people were. So like out of all the characters, why that one? I think a lot of people were.
Yeah.
I thought there was great promise. We'll see how I feel tomorrow.
I mean, I used to think that, you know, they have to redesign the character from the comic.
sure.
Now I'm thinking perhaps they shouldn't have, and it would have been more fun if they went back to the original design of Morbius.
It looks
being a
good. He looks
vampire.
great.
I mean, look, the one thing, no matter how bad this movie is tomorrow or glorious, you got it. The character design, we have all agreed
the
all
character
year.
design-
Yeah,
Design looks
I think it looks
great.
great.
It looks
Yeah.
fantastic.
But again, that's just
Credit where
Which
credit's
makes
due.
the movie even more sad for me.
I mean, it will once again prove, if this is as bad as people are saying, that ultimately the design of a character really doesn't matter much because this guy looks awesome. And if it's as bad as we're hearing, anyway, guys, question is for you. How excited? Did you book time off work? Did you tell your wife, sorry, I can't be in the delivery room because Morbius is opening this day? Have you made your plans to see Morbius? And are you as looking forward to this thing that's going to alter and shift the course of human history? Morbius, or is it going to be as bad as maybe it looks like it is? Whatever you guys think, jump into the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's do one more main topic here today. That really should have been an off the top, but it's too important to do as an off the top. So we're going to talk about as our main topic here today, and that is this. One of the, I think it's safe to say, most highly anticipated shows coming up this year that a lot of people are extremely excited about is Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, for a long time, I was like, I'm not interested in Obi-Wan. It's more prequel stuff. I don't like stories going backwards. I like stories going forward. But as a couple of years passed, fans more and more, as they wrote into me and explained, well, what if they did this and this and this? And I started going, okay, you know what? Maybe it could be pretty cool. And then I was at D23 when Ewan McGregor came out on stage and said, I am Obi-Wan Kenobi again. And you couldn't help but catch the enthusiasm, the excitement about it. And so we've been building our excitement, and then that trailer dropped. My goodness. Now, a little bit of a cheap pop in the trailer using Duel of the Fates, because there's a reason why 98% of all Star Wars fan films in the last 20 years have used Duel of the Fates. It's because it's a piece of music that's just automatic, gets you the pop, right? But still, that music with that trailer, so good and so fun. It's got
And
lots
he was there.
and he
The first
was
time that
there.
the first time that, you know, on Naboo, when that orchestra was in that hangar deck or
Yep.
the and played it so they could fight.
Ewan McGregor was in that scene.
Ewan McGregor was there.
And so we got word that it was going to drop on May 25th. Well, two very interesting pieces of information have dropped this morning just before the show started. And the first is that they have delayed the launch of the show, but only by a couple of days.
Okay.
They delayed it from May 25th to May 27th. There's a couple of very interesting things about that. We'll talk about that in a second. But maybe the more exciting piece of news was that Ewan McGregor got on video, this is on StarWars.com, and made a video announcing that on May 27th, not only will they drop episode 1, they will drop 2 episodes, which I think we are all very excited about, of Obi-Wan. Now, I can't remember how many episodes Obi-Wan's supposed to be.
I think there's only 6.
6, which means there's only going to be 4 weeks left to enjoy it after that. But hey, whatever. Yay, 6-episode seasons. But whatever. We're going to get 2 episodes on that day, which is pretty damn exciting. I mean, that's pretty damn cool. I'm very excited about that. But what is it you say, Chris? For why? For why? Moving it to May 27th, for why? What's the point of moving it to May 27th? Now, my first thought about the May 27th date was that there's going to be overlap. If I've got my timing right, there's going to be overlap between Obi-Wan and Ms. Marvel, which is going to be the first time that Disney's going to be running 2 of their premium shows at the same time. And so I thought, oh, well, moving this to the 27th to a Friday, that means we'll get Ms. Marvel on Wednesdays and we'll get Obi-Wan on Fridays. Cool. But that's not what's happening. Because Variety's reported that after the 2-episode drop on the Friday, it goes back to Wednesdays. And the final 4 episodes will be releasing on Wednesdays as normal. Which again, led me to go then, for why? Well, okay, if you're going to move to Fridays and you're going to make it all come out on Fridays, that I get. What is the idea of bumping it 2 days? There's also another little piece of interesting information. Another very big, highly anticipated show drops on May 27th. Stranger Things Season 4 drops on May 27th.
Oh, them's fighting words.
Them's fighting words. That is Chris Rock making a joke about your wife words. I mean, they specifically, they're not even saying, no, we just decided Fridays. They're not even doing that because they're going to go right back to Wednesdays. Nah, Stranger Things, we just want to give you a good little healthy fuck you because we're going to move our release on the same day as that. Okay. This is very strange to me. Now, the only other thing I was able to think about was, well, maybe that's a particularly weak Friday for movies. And they just thought, well, give it a Friday, like a cinematic release on a Friday, like a movie does. But again, I'm not so sure. So listen, I love the idea of the 2 things. I don't mind the delay because it's only a 2-day delay. It's 48 hours, no big deal. We can live with that. I just don't understand what's the point. And I have to admit, my enthusiasm about getting 2 episodes to launch with is kind of being overshadowed with the question to me. It's like, what was the point of moving it to the 27th? So I don't know, Rob, you have been contemplating this as well. Number one, what do you think about them dropping 2 episodes at once to make a big event? And why move this thing for just these first 2 episodes to the Friday? I don't get it. What do you think?
It's inexplicable to me, John. May 25th is the 45th anniversary of the release of Star Wars and the introduction of the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And dropping the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on May 25th, which in my mind is the official Star Wars day, not this May the 4th be with you BS. It's the actual anniversary. Legacy there. Celebrate the fact 45 years ago, this character was first introduced to the public. And 45 years later, we are bringing him back in an all-new adventure. Marketing department dream, right? Well, okay, I don't know if they need an extra couple of days to finish some special effects, which I can't imagine that's it. It's got to be some other thing, but to me, it's bizarre. Move Miss Marvel. I don't understand it. I really don't. It's of all the dates you could pick, this date comes along once a year, and 45 years it's not like it's 43 years or 47 years. It's 45. That's a nice middle of a decade number. I don't get it, John. I really don't. But then again, a lot of decisions that are getting made. I wonder if they were really thinking about it. I mean, after all, they did make The Rise of Skywalker. So anything's possible. They might not be thinking.
Okay, so there are some people in the live chat that are saying, well, John, Star Wars Celebration starts on May 26th. Okay.
Keep it the 25th then.
Then you really keep
yeah.
it on the 20th. But the other thing is this. Did they just announce that Star Wars Celebration was launching on May
No.
26th? Oh, no, they've known that for about 2 years. That was the date. So they've always known Star Wars Celebration starts on May 26th. They knew Star Wars Celebration started May 26th when they announced that Obi-Wan was coming out on May 25th. This isn't surprising. It's not like I would buy this if they just moved Star Wars Celebration to May 26th and they thought, well, then let's launch it with Star Wars Celebration. I would also get launching a trailer to come out with Star Wars Celebration. Like if they announced that the Obi-Wan trailer was coming out on the 25th, but then they decided to move it a couple days so they could debut it a Star Wars Celebration, that I would get. But they've always known Celebration started May 26th, and yet they chose to launch it on May 25th. So I don't buy the Star Wars Celebration thing, because that's always been a factor.
Have they ever shown anything in full at a Star Wars Celebration before?
They've shown some Clone Wars. I think
clips though, correct?
they've definitely shown lots of clips.
Okay, so
but
not
I
like
think,
a screening of something.
But I think they've shown entire episodes of Clone Wars, and I believe, people have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they showed like a full episode of what was that the spinoff from Clone Wars about
Bad
the
Batch?
Rebels?
Bad Batch.
Bad Batch,
Yeah,
okay.
that show's terrible.
I mean, they do have that big arena, the big convention hall there.
Yeah.
I could see them. You're going to get to see, you're going
first
to be
two
the first
episodes.
audience ever. But even so, it's still the 25th. And if you want to get Disney Plus subscribers to people to subscribe because of this show, I would release it on Star Wars Day because very few people in the world are going to be able to go to Star Wars Celebration.
Well, wait,
I'll be there.
Oh, does this
I will also be there.
yeah.
Yeah, I got my tickets there too. Yeah.
does this mean both episodes launch on Thursday at midnight?
Yes.
Oh man, that's gonna be a long night.
Yeah, it's gonna be, but a good night. Hopefully, I'll say this. Hopefully, it's a long night, because if they do pull more of this 32-minute episode bullshit thing, then I'm gonna be pretty disappointed.
The quality has to be on point because after the first episode of Moon Knight, if this doesn't come off as like a 2-hour
Bars
movie to me,
raised.
it's already.
Chris, what do you think about number one? What do you think about launching 2 episodes at once? And number 2, for why did they make this thing on the 27th?
It feels weird. I mean, I'll tell you for why I do think it's the potential of showing us at Star Wars Celebration, giving us that first look, everyone who's there celebrating Star Wars as a whole. And if we see a whole episode there, a whole ass episode before everyone else, I'll tell you right now, I will not be thinking about Stranger Things at all.
I mean, that
kind of
seems to
already
me probably the marketing buzz they're going to get from social
But
media.
they
and everybody.
didn't think about that for the
Well,
past
that's what I'm thinking.
year.
Exactly.
Yeah, they
when
didn't-
they
That's
set
what's
May
so
25th
weird.
as the release date. So, like, why the sudden change? Why this
Because
this
people,
sudden change? of mind?
studios these days don't exactly know. They don't think about these things.
I know. Maybe they didn't have enough planned during Star Wars Celebration. They needed
You know
to throw
what
something in
turns
there.
out? We actually
They
don't
were
have
like,
anything for people to
we
do
need
in
to
Star Wars
stretch this
Celebration.
out. It's a several day thing. Oh my gosh, maybe this is a Chapek situation. Who's to say? Who's to say?
Oh God, it's another JPEG situation. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? On the good side, it's going to launch with 2 episodes. Yay!
Hey.
And they're delaying it 2 days. Why? When they're not just moving the whole thing. Like, if they're moving everything to Fridays and they're going to launch all the episodes on Fridays, that would make sense. But why this move? I'm not really sure.
Why would you move it off the 25th of May? Why?
Star Wars Day, the
Star
actual
Wars, the
anniversary.
actual day of the
I have
release.
no idea.
I mean, first of all, yesterday or today on today's mailbag, I read a 5-part question from one of our viewers about where Disney Plus is dropping in the next few months around the world. So they have all of these new viewers that are not going to be at Star Wars Celebration, and this is the perfect way, the perfect marketing hook. The return of Obi-Wan 45 years after you first saw him. Make it a big splash. Oh, but wait, nope. I know it's only 2 days, but still, John, I don't get it.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Number 1, double episodes. Number 2, why not have it launch on the day every episode's coming out, on Wednesdays? Why have the first 2 on a different day when you've always planned it to have it on the 45th anniversary? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Hey guys, we want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Athletic Greens. Now, we want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Coinbase. Have you found yourself curious about getting involved in cryptocurrency, but if you're like a couple of friends of mine who have been really interested in it, they felt kind of overwhelmed by it, like not even knowing how to get started? Well, that's where Coinbase comes in, because they make learning to buy and sell crypto simple. Coinbase offers a trusted and easy-to-use platform to buy, sell, and spend cryptocurrency. They support the most popular digital currencies on the market and make them accessible to everyone. They offer portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app so you can trade securely and monitor your crypto all in one place. And that's why millions of people all over the world in 100 different countries trust Coinbase with their digital assets. So whether you're looking to diversify, just getting started, or searching for a better way to access crypto markets, start today with Coinbase. And for a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/Campea. Sign up at coinbase.com/Campea for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is for a limited time only, so be sure to sign up today. That's coinbase.com/Campea. And a special thanks to Coinbase for being a sponsor of the John Campea Show. Okay, guys, with all that down, let's now go over and start taking your comments and questions you guys have been firing in. Jump on over there. Chris, what do we got?
We are starting with K Major. Hey, John, it's funny to me that you had to explain your friendship with Aaron. If we can't have spirited conversations with our friends, what are we even doing? LOL.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's like, look, like Aaron and I, we can have extremely heated discussions and conversations and then go, oh, wait, it's 12 o'clock. It's time to go to lunch. And then we go and have lunch. I mean, that's just the way Aaron and I have always been. So, yes, that is that. All right, what's next?
From My Comic Planet, it's reported that Bruce Willis was trying to make as many movies as he could before he couldn't work to make sure his family had financial security.
I mean, listen, I get that. But number one, if Bruce Willis didn't have financial security
We're all
3 years ago, then whoever has been managing his money needs to be dragged into the city square and flogged with tomatoes. I mean, so, and I get, again, I understand that thing. And Bruce Willis, any good fighter is going to say, I can answer the bell. It is the job of the people around the fighter to say, no, you can't. And so I put none of this on Bruce Willis. He's trying to do his job. He's trying to be there for people.
And frankly, there are other avenues. You can do commercials. He could be doing some voiceover work where he can read his lines. There's a lot of other things you can be doing that, sure, aren't as much money a lot of times. If he did a corporate sponsorship, though, if he was the face and voice of a brand, that's something that someone like Bruce Willis could really negotiate a lot of money out of.
All right, what's next?
From Wiley Todd. Ray, do you remember the polk music in Red versus Blue when the red team would come in on the Warthog? It's a banger.
I don't. All I remember is that or the intro music. So no, I don't. But I'll check it out.
Man, Red versus Blue has been around for like
forever.
A long time.
25 years or
Yeah.
something longer than that. It's been around forever. All right, what's next?
Jeremy 144713. In regards to yesterday, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah, no, that's true. And that's one of the things I was trying to say to Aaron was she was bringing up the why am I freezing on his name?
Adrian
Brody.
Halle Berry.
The Adrian Brody situation is that, like, I think for years nobody even knew if that was a real thing or not. It wasn't until years later when Halle Berry explained in an interview that no, she had no idea that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Then that's messed up. But that has nothing to do with this situation. And you're right, 2 wrong. Like, just because that was wrong doesn't mean that prevents this from being wrong. Look, there's no way around it. It was wrong for Will Smith at the Academy Awards, because he heard a joke he didn't like, to walk up on stage and physically put hands on another person. It was wrong. I'm a big Will Smith fan. I don't think it should, they should take away his Academy Award. I don't think it should be a lifetime ban. I don't think any of that stuff. But
Right.
That has to be addressed. It was wrong, period, and whatever happened with Adrian Brody had nothing to do with it. All right, what's next?
From Devin Pangregar. Plot twist. Chris loved Morbius.
I'm waiting for
Hey,
it.
let's hope. Let's cross
That's
those
what tomorrow's
fingers.
going to be. It's going to be a big Chris Carr loves Morbius
I'm just gonna
love fest.
come in here, having my synthetic blood and being like, what a great film.
All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher. My super chat about Mark owing someone money is a reference to the meme of Moon Knight going, Dracula, you big effing nerd. Where's my
that's-
goddamn money?
It's one of the greatest. You've seen that, right?
I
yeah.
love that one.
Dracula, you did Moon. This is a great image. I think I've shared it on the show. Moon Knight like walking through an old castle going, Dracula, you fucking nerd. Where's my fucking money? It's like one of the best things I've ever seen.
Oh.
All right, nice one. What's next?
From Fifi. Hey, crew. Sonic 2 is so close. Yes.
So close.
But be careful. The movie is already out in Europe, so make sure to avoid spoilers.
I don't think spoilers are a real big thing with a Sonic movie.
Any final predictions, Chris? Shadow, Amy, Silver, Eggman, Piss Laser, LOL.
I don't even know what Piss Laser is.
So I don't think we're going to get Amy in this. I really, really don't. I think Amy's going to be held off for another film. We are absolutely, as we see from the trailers, getting into the Chaos Emeralds, which is going to be really, really cool. I'm really excited to see all of that. I think if we do see Shadow, that's going to be that post-credit thing like we had with Tales before, and I'd love to see that.
All right, what's next?
My Comic Planet. Be careful out there, everyone. I had 2 Morbius tickets in my car, and someone broke in and left 4 more. Oh, God. You poor baby.
That's pretty good.
My Comic Planet.
Morbius.
I can't live without it.
That's pretty good. All right, what's next?
From Andy, 1 of 2. I have a foolproof idea for the Academy to get more viewers. Get Nicole Kidman as the host so she can promote the Oscars at the Oscars.
Oh my God, brilliant.
Somehow. A slap feels good in a place like this.
Yeah,
Oh.
I knew that was kind of like, as soon as I read the thing, I knew exactly where that was going. But that's
Man.
true. Imagine at the Oscars halfway through,
You should
if
be
Nicole
welcome.
Kidman got on and said, hey, everybody, you should really tune in and watch the Oscars. I'm only seeing you because I am tuning in and watching the
We're
Oscars.
here.
That makes as much sense as what they're doing in AMC theaters right now. All right, what's next?
From Brooks Kirk. I love Movie Club. Please keep it up. Die Hard?
Oh, Die Hard will absolutely someday be one of the movies. This year, I'm sure this year, Die Hard will absolutely,
I haven't even seen that movie.
which makes it even
You're
better.
so lucky.
Yeah, you
Oh,
get to
Ray,
watch
you
it for
have
the
so
first
much
time.
fun.
Yeah, now it's not the best of the Die Hard movies. I think Die Hard 3 is the best, the one he does with Samuel L. Jackson. But it all starts with the first Die Hard.
I love
But-
Die Hard 3, but it's not better than Die
Hans
Hard.
Gruber. Hans Gruber. excuse
Hans
me.
Gruber is
Oh.
good. But
Simon
his
Gruber
brother,
is in
Simon
Die Hard
Gruber.
3.
Good Lord. I mean, I love Michael. Oh, okay, anyway, what's next?
From Colossus Combat. Hit 100 subs and 50K views. Not much, but it's something.
Hey, dude, that's
Yes.
exactly where you got to start. I was at 100 subs and 50K views at one point. That's where you go. All right, what's next?
From Suthius. Best part of being a dad when you're playing the Avengers theme and your 4-year-old belches along in the back seat, even reenacting scenes with his own lines.
Oh no, Thor, watch out! Watch out, Thor!
See, it's funny because my wife Ann has said the exact same things. Best part of being a wife when you're playing the Avengers theme and your husband belches along with the backseat in the backseat. That's pretty much what happens in my everyday life.
It's marriage.
Those are great parenting moments, Suthius. Thanks for sharing that. I love hearing that. All right, what's next?
Casey Mack. I really think they just didn't want Obi-Wan and Ms. Marvel to be the same day, so I think that's why Obi-Wan is moving to Friday.
That would make sense, except it's not moving to Fridays. It's only that one double episode, and then it's moving back to Wednesdays for its final 4 episodes. So that was my first thought too, Casey. That was my first thought. But apparently that's not what they're doing. So again, for why? I'm not sure. All right, what's next?
For why?
John Redcorn. Did you hear that Craven has started filming?
I have not.
No.
I mean, it's about damn time, but I'm super excited about that. Like
I can
again,
only imagine what the cast and crew of Craven's going to do tonight. We should all go see Morbius.
we should all go see Morbius together.
learn
And figure out
from
what
it.
not to do.
Yeah.
What do we not do? All right, what's next?
Adam Henson. Morbius, the Canada of comic book movies.
Nah. So Morbius gets a lifetime ban from Adam gets a lifetime ban from the channel. All right, what's next?
Anish, 1 of 3. When Layla says, "What's up with your accent?" she wasn't saying he had a bad British accent. She was just shocked to hear Mark speak in any accent that isn't American.
Maybe we don't know that for sure.
Sounds
Anish,
pretty
where's
good,
the
though.
rest of you?
I can't find it anywhere, so we're just gonna have to move on without him. Okay, what's
Sorry,
next?
Anish. Glenn Mark? Or wait,
Anish is a good man, by
there
the
we
way.
go. Groovy Don't Play. Did you see that In Memoriam segment? Moved to tier. Oh, at the Oscars? Yeah.
I thought it was really well done.
I thought it was
I did too.
incredibly
I mean,
well
I know there
done.
were some people that was like, well, that music was kind of upbeat. I liked it, actually.
celebration of
it
life.
felt
Yeah.
more of a celebration of their careers and everything. So I personally kind of liked it. All right, what's next?
All right, from Seconds from Disaster, 1 of 2. What's up, Campea crew? I love making this show part of my day, so I wanted to give some Canada appreciation. I'm half French Canadian, Italian, and part Canadian Cherokee
Oh,
Indian.
wow.
I've lived in Connecticut my whole life, but Niagara Falls in Ontario is my fave place I've been to, especially at night.
Jimmy, say that part again. Niagara Falls, what?
Ontario?
Ontario.
Ontario. I'm
Ontario.
from Texas, homie. I don't know how y'all say things.
Ontario.
Wait, Ontario's right down the street where the
Ontario?
Ontario
Yeah,
airport
no,
is.
the Ontario.
There's an airport
hey,
there?
Listen, I went to, I did some of my college stuff in Niagara Falls, Ontario. I always take Ann there whenever we go. Actually, I took Ray to Niagara Falls when we went up to Canada there. That
Y'all
was
do
always
the barrel
fun.
thing?
What's that?
Y'all getting barrels?
We know there's no
No.
getting in barrels in Niagara Falls, but you do get wet.
And we did get donuts.
And
That's
we
all
did
I
get
remember.
donuts.
My
They were-
chocolate donut.
Good donuts. All right, what's next?
Right, from Glenn Mark. Watched Moon Knight? Wow. Did any of you see that show with the other Isaac? Jason, called Awake. Parts reminded me of that, but different. Some Venom moments. Did you just throw the gun?
I didn't get any Awake moments. I love Awake, by the way.
Yeah, it's
Awake
good.
is one of the biggest shames of a show that only got 1 season and then got canceled. I loved that show.
I did too.
I thought you were going to talk about Jason Patrick. I thought you were going to talk about Winning Time.
Oh.
Damn, that show is
Still
so
need to get caught
good.
up on
No,
that.
Jason, you mean Jason, not Jason Patrick, because Jason Patrick stars in The Lost Boys. Jason, John Connor from Terminator, Genesis.
What's this?
Who plays Jerry? Who plays
I love
Jerry
him.
West?
Sorry, what's
Jason Clark.
Jason Clark. Sorry, thank
okay.
you for yes,
But
not
when
Jason Patrick.
you said Jason Patrick,
Clark.
do you know why you were? Because you were thinking vampires
With
and
Morbius,
Jason
and
Patrick.
yes.
That's what you were thinking.
That was probably right there on my brain.
A better vampire movie than Morbius is.
I just want to say one thing about Moon Knight since I wasn't here for the review. Not once have I ever been confused during an episode, but I enjoyed the confusing
Well, that's the thing.
aspects
We were
of-
supposed to feel his confusion.
Yeah.
and
right?
the paranoia he felt. You saw me.
Yeah.
I was hearing stuff around me, and I was jumping like, "Oh, what's going on?"
were you hearing voices too?
It laid everything perfectly for me. I like the
so good.
emotions. Yeah.
So good. All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher. Apparently, the QR code on the wall when Steven is talking to the little girl leads to a free digital copy of Moon Knight's first appearance.
That's a fun
so
Easter egg
cool.
to know.
Wow.
That's a really
Thank
cool
you,
Easter. I'm gonna have to
Sam.
go back and check that out. Thank you for that, Sam. That's a great thing to know. All right, thanks for sharing it. All right, what's next?
Bailey Fuller. I saw Sonic 2 yesterday. Chris, no need to stress. I never was, baby.
She's looking forward to it no matter what. All right, what's next?
Comic Nizer. Walmart crew going to see Morbius at 7 tonight. So don't worry, John. We're with you. We have faith in this movie.
It is going to change the course of cinematic history. We're gonna walk out. We're gonna say, "Lost Boys." What? Who cares about Lost Boys? That is my favorite vampire movie of all time, by the way.
Cry, little
But
sister.
who cares about that? It's all about Morbius. We're all going to be talking about Morbius tomorrow. It's going to be the greatest thing
are.
ever. All right. One way or the other, we're going to be talking about it. What's next?
From Jay Bling. I think Bruce Willis has been suffering from cognitive issues for more than 2 years. Is it possible this affected the size of his role in Glass?
I don't think so. I mean, they had him in it. I think they wrote it the way they wrote it. How long it's been affecting him, we really don't know. We just know that directors, as of 2 years ago, were recognizing it. They were recognizing and saying, "Look, we're not going to direct any movies with him in it anymore." I mean, we just can't. So, how far before that, we don't know. We don't have that information.
Did you see that M. Night Shyamalan put out a tweet?
Yes.
That was really touching, I thought.
What do you call him? His big brother?
Yeah, his big
like that.
brother.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
That was some good sham hammer.
That was some good sham hammer. It really was. That was a really nice tweet, actually. All right, what's next?
Oh, from Devin again. What does Chef Pleasures make best?
Chef Pleasures makes this dish. I don't even know what he calls it. It's a Filipino dish. And I'll be honest, I'm not big on a lot of Filipino cuisine other than, adobo, obviously, lumpia, I really love. But he makes this spaghetti. And it's I know it sounds on its surface bushly, but listen to this. It's spaghetti with this real sweet sauce. and diced up hot dogs, and then really finely diced up other little pieces. I don't know if it's
Wait a minute.
a pancetta,
I
some
know-
kind of a pancetta or something in it.
I know what you're thinking.
It is bonkers delicious. Like, it's so good. What do you put in that sauce?
I put nothing you can know of.
Okay.
I just want to know if hot dogs is something that the Philippines, it comes from a long tradition
When I
of
first
Hebrew national. Like, what are you using there?
when I first tell people that my spaghetti has hot dogs, some of the reactions are like, "Oh, is that like a oh, I shouldn't say it. No, never mind, forget it." But is that like a hamburger helper or something like that? Like some out of the can stuff? No, it's actually I make my own sauce from scratch and everything. So
And it's freaking delicious.
But
All right.
in the Philippines, do they have hot dogs?
yes, they do.
Yeah.
And they're red.
All right. What's next?
All right, from I am awesome 418. Monster Jackal as Michael Corleone. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
I was saying on the open spoiler discussion yesterday, one of my favorite parts about that episode was we are used to seeing in movies or TV shows when the sweet, innocent person gets attacked by the monster. And like we all seen, right? A girl hanging onto a surfboard, floating in the water, and all of a sudden she feels the tug of the shark, and you see they're desperately trying to hold onto the surfboard before being pulled away, right? The monster has a monster. As that jackal, they switched it up as the jackal, this horrible monster was hunting Steven, is now with terror in its face, desperately trying to claw its way out of the bathroom, and it gets
dog.
Yeah, you feel
dragged
bad
back
for
in
it.
because the monster has a monster.
It's just a big puppy with mange.
The monster has something that goes bump in the night. The monster is the one that knocks on the door. He's the one who knocks. Moon Knight is Heisenberg. And I love that moment. Seeing
was great.
the fear and terror put into it. I mean, that was a cool scene to me. All right, what's next?
All right, from Sam Fisher again. I have a feeling that all the stuff we saw in the Moon Knight marketing is only the first 2 episodes. So much of the marketing is already in episode 1.
Yeah, I recognize that too. It's like, oh my God, like almost all the trailer was in this first episode.
Oh, yeah.
So I think you're right. I think they've just only shown, and that's something they've done for a lot of their shows, only really putting stuff in the marketing that's been in the first couple of episodes. I like that.
Even Halo.
Yeah,
Same thing.
that's right. It was like almost everything in the Halo trailers were in the first 2 episodes. Yep. All right, what's next?
From MP, evocation of appropriate cognate luminaries, something salient. I used a thesaurus called Robert Meyer Burnett.
Well, there you go. We'll blame that on you, Robert.
It's my fault. It's
All
always
right.
my fault.
What's next?
Disney Freak 309, happy game day. I really hope Chris loves Morbius. Hey, me too.
Morbius. It's
I
Morbius
really-
Day. I hope she
I'd
loves it. I
love
hope
to
I love
love
it. I hope
it.
we all love it. I hope it transforms all of our lives on a spiritual level.
I'm so excited for this existential experience I'm going to have.
Be amazing. All right, what's next?
Attack of the Mushi. What age should Nova be in the MCU?
Hmm.
Ooh. Ray, you had thoughts on that before.
Well, I mean,
with a
there's different
Nova.
iterations of
Yeah.
Nova. So
I want him to be the youngest member
Yeah.
of the MCU. I really want him to be the youngest kid on the MCU. We've gotten old. We've gotten whatever. Let's get the
well,
youngest kid.
we do. We got Spider-Man. Like, we
got
got a
Pete.
teenager in there already.
Yeah,
But
but
he's gone through so much.
We're about to get Ms. Marvel.
I'm saying 15.
But look, 2 of the renditions of
15,
Nova
like that.
were in high school when they got the armor.
Yeah.
So I think I'm guessing it's probably going to be high school. By the way, did you accidentally skip Casey Mack there?
Oh, I did. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry, Casey. Is there any truth of HBO Max making it a prequel TV series called Welcome to Derry, or is that just a rumor at this point?
I believe it's true.
It's
I've
true. They
heard
just
about this,
announced
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So yes, apparently it's happening. I have mixed feelings about that, but
What
hey,
is that?
It's
What
a
is that?
prequel to It.
Yeah,
It's a
Derry
prequel to
Maine
Clown.
is where it takes place.
I don't think the movie I'd ever be able to get you to watch. No, well, Ryan, I probably would never be able to get Ryan to watch that one.
I watched it. The old one?
No, the new one, the one that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, I watched that.
Oh, you did?
Loved it.
What?
Awesome. Yeah, it was Ryan. I was thinking we got a friend who does not like clowns so much.
Oh,
That first one with Tim Curry messed me up, man.
That first one was great. I didn't like the second one so much, but the first one was great. All right, what's next?
All right, now from Comic Nizer. Also, any chance we will get the Batman on Movie Club this year, as well as Mystery Man and
You probably
Galaxy
meant
Quest?
Mystery Men and Galaxy Quest. I can totally
I love
see us
Mystery
doing
Men.
both of those
Yeah,
at some point.
me too.
As far as when we do the Batman this year, no. I think a movie's got to at least be over a year old. It's got to at least be been a little bit since we've
So
seen
does that
it.
mean, of course, Star Trek the motion picture we can do since the director's cut's coming out this year?
Has anyone seen that movie?
And yet it's
I don't think
also
anybody's seen that movie.
from 1979. So
Yeah,
maybe
I will guarantee you this, Ron. I know this is going to hurt your feelings. If we did that movie as Movie Club, it would be the lowest viewed one we've ever done.
he's not wrong.
Okay.
I mean,
He's not
Is
wrong.
Mystery Men really that good? I haven't seen that.
It's so
I
fun.
love
I
Mystery
love
Men.
Mystery Men.
You would love it.
It is
Yeah.
the movie that was so far ahead of its time. Like it was you would think that would be a movie that was coming out today to make fun of and spoof and satire the superhero genre. But it was doing it before there was a superhero genre.
Yeah.
It is so far ahead of its time. Hank Azaria, I almost said Willem Dafoe, William H. Macy,
Yeah.
Brian Stiller,
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller, Pee Wee Herman,
Kel Mitchell.
Gene Garofalo, Casanova Frankenstein, Jeffrey Rush, Captain Amazing. I mean, it's just, it's the best. It's
You have
best.
so much fun with it, right?
no, we will not
It's
be
so
doing the
goofy.
Batman
Costumes designed by Marilyn Vance.
Marilyn
from
Vance.
Our own Hollywood.
from Designing Hollywood.
podcast.
Actually, one of my most prized possessions. It's still in its protective cover beside Rob right now. But like Hollywood icon Marilyn Vance, who designed that movie, she also designed Die Hard, and she designed Pretty Woman, and she designed the look of movies of the 80s and 90s. But when she heard me talking about my love for Mystery Men and how much I love Captain Amazing, she went into her archives and pulled out her first concept sketch for Captain Amazing. And she gave it to me.
That is cool, man.
It is one of my favorite possessions that I have.
That's awesome.
To the point that I haven't put up like the $1,000 I'm going to need to put it in the proper framing
Right.
that I legitimately want to put it in, and probably hang it in the new office. But yeah, it's one of my most prized possessions. Okay, anyway, what's next?
All right, from Film Code Podcast, got caught up on Halo, loving it so far. Feels like a prequel to the games, and I'm enjoying it.
Again, as somebody who's not a game player, not a Halo game player, I quite enjoyed it. I don't think it's the best thing on TV, but I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I'm really excited about the third one.
Yep. Me too.
All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher, 1 of 3. I read a theory that Moon Knight has already hinted at a third personality because while Mark's calm, cool, and collected under pressure, he's also a bit of a loner and wouldn't ask someone out on a date. It posits there's a Jake Lockley personality who's a suave ladies' man, like a spy gathering info.
Well, I think
Just
that.
no more.
Plus, the credits have 3 Oscar Isaac faces.
Well, I mean, now look, Jake Lockley was in the original iteration of Moon Knight. There was Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley, Mark Spector, and Moon Knight. So I could see that happening. But Jake Lockley was kind of a cab driver. He was not some suave dude. But you know what I'm more excited about is Duchamp.
You've never had an Uber driver just sweep you off your feet, Rob?
They do it to me all the time.
Well, no.
Listen, there could be plenty. Like there could be 4 or 5. We could get
Yeah.
further in the episodes. 5. There's a lot more than that. I don't know how crazy they're going to go down that road. I think they might be a little bit more reserved for it, but there are possibilities of that. All right, what's next?
All right. From Jerome, how do you think the Umbrella Academy will handle Vanya becoming transgender in the plot of season 3? They've already handled it. It's Victor.
Yeah, but how will they
Oh.
handle that? Like the difference between that.
I was gonna say,
honestly,
just did.
no idea. We're just gonna have to watch the show and see what they do. So it'll be. Listen, all I know is I love Umbrella Academy. So whatever
I do
they're gonna
too.
do, we'll see how they're gonna do it. All right, what's next?
Glenn Mark, 1 of 2. YouTuber Cinema Wins has an excellent 10-minute video essay on Man of Steel, similar to your view about the battle destruction, John. He expounds that it's his first battle, barely testing his powers. Of course, he's going to be a bull in a china shop. It shows that Soups is grounded in our world.
Again, one of the things I want to point out to everybody who tries to make this ridiculous argument about this ridiculous criticism about Man of Steel. Superman in this movie, not only had he just become Superman, he's never been in a fight in his life. What do you think your first fight, you've reached adulthood and you've never had a fight. And now you've got to fight against genetically bred military soldiers.
In midair while you're getting thrown through buildings.
In midair while you're getting thrown through buildings. What do you think your first fight is going to look like?
Not pretty.
Not pretty, not good, and you're not going to be able to control what happens in that fight or to control where the fight happens. It's just one of the most look. I get it that if you watch Man of Steel and it does not work for you and you don't like it, that's cool. That's the subjectivity of film. But the argument of Superman shouldn't have let all that destruction happen. Okay, that's idiotic. That's just stupid. Because he had no control of that situation. He had never been in a fight in his life, and now he's fighting military soldiers. Guess what? Wherever they want the fight to happen, that's where the fight's going to happen. And when they throw you through a building, that ain't up to you. They're going to throw you through a building. So anyway, anyway. All right, what's next?
All right, from Orange Hand. One of Kang's identities in the comics was an Egyptian pharaoh. What are the odds we see an ancient statue of Jonathan Majors in Moon Knight?
I'm going to go 0. The reason I'm going to say 0 is because this show has already kind of shown that they are making this story stand on its own. I don't think they're going to be doing a lot of, Easter egging crossover stuff. So I'm going to say 0. I don't think there's any chance of that.
I don't think so either, but it would be kind of cool if they had a statue of Apocalypse in there somewhere.
Oh, in Sabanur.
I mean, I don't think they would. I mean, unless,
no, they won't. They totally won't.
Scene where
totally
Oscar Isaac is looking up at a statue of Apocalypse.
Apocalypse
and it
is
looks
Bruno.
like him.
Yeah, I mean,
That would be absolutely hilarious. All right, what's next?
From Michael Serda. Plot twist, Ezra Miller played himself and we need to talk about Kevin. Much love, bring up the filthy.
By the way, do you see the new reports coming out about that?
oh no.
There are reports
There's
coming
more?
out saying that, now I gotta confirm this myself, but that since March 7th, the Hawaii police, the Hilo police, have received 10 calls about Ezra Miller from March 7th to when he was finally arrested. And again, I cannot confirm that. That's just a quick thing I read before we started doing the show today. So take that with a massive, massive, massive grain of salt, but it's not a good look.
No.
Not a good look. All right, what's next?
Blue Jay. Even with its 56% Rotten Tomato rating, Sonic 2 will probably be more exciting than Morbius will be.
No chance. No chance in hell. Morbius is going to be the most exciting, dynamic, world-changing movie ever, and I know it's true. All right, what's
It's
next?
okay, John. You'll be okay. Blake62 is, but what is grief if not love persevering? The best line of dialogue in the MCU.
If not, it ranks right up there with then what else do I have to lose? I still think the best moment in all of the MCU, to me, I think the best acted moment, the most beautifully written moment, whatever, is still in Infinity War when Rocket and Thor are heading off to, what's the name of the star? Nebuchadnezzar? Is that the name of it? I think, yeah, that's where they go to get where the Sunforge is. And he's going off about all the stuff that he's lost and lost and lost. And he says, fate wills it. And Rocket says, what if you're wrong? And then this dramatic pause. And then he says, then what else do I have to lose? That to me is one of the most, I think maybe the most powerful moment to me ever in the MCU. But I'll tell you what, if it has a rival, it's what is grief if not love persevering? If it has any rival, that's right up. What do your guys'
There's
thoughts
so
on that?
many Rocket moments, honestly, that I didn't ask to be made like this is heartbreaking when you know all about what Rocket's gone through. And you're reacting to a CGI raccoon. That's wild to me that has more of an emotional toll than entire films have. That's just one moment of
Certainly more than Morbius.
certainly more than Morbius.
So
will.
what I think one of Rocket's finest moments that is like completely epitomizes Rocket when Drax is talking about he lost his wife and his son. Oh, he lost my wife and child.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo. We've all
got-
lost people.
Yeah, we all
I'm
got
like,
dead people.
Yeah, we've all got dead people. I'm like, oh my God, that line is great.
Don't ever kill him, please, Marvel.
Yes, please never kill Rocket. Please never kill Rocket.
My heart
All right.
couldn't handle it.
What's next?
All right. From Andy. Will Smith has decided to do a sequel to the Oscars and slap The Rock. Rumors are this is his final installment and will include his life story, literally.
Yeah, that's a good way to cancel your subscription to Life. Just walk up to Dwayne Johnson, give him a slap in the face, see how that works out. All right, what's next?
Bailey Fuller. Movie suggestion. Rams with Sam Neill. Aussie film.
Never heard of it, but I
don't-
love Sam Neill.
Yeah, me too. And I've never heard of that movie
All right,
either.
thanks for putting that on the radar, Bailey. All right, what's next?
Cole. Morbius is going to break the Sonyverse, I fear.
Again, one film does not do that. And it doesn't matter how bad the film is. One film doesn't do that. One film does not make a cinematic universe. One film does not break a cinematic universe. It's once you start a pattern. Venom and Venom 2 were wins. Obviously, Into the Spider-Verse is a big win, but we'll see what happens with Morbius. I'll see it later today. And then we'll see what happens with Kraven. And because if Kraven comes out and is good and pleases the audience like Venom did and all that kind of stuff, then we're right back to business as usual. You have 2 or 3 in a row. Well, now you're in real trouble, but we'll see what happens. All right.
There's another one too.
Madam. Oh,
Anyway, what's next?
MP, good thing Ezra doesn't actually have the speed force like the Fash. We would all be in danger. Talk about a real life A-train.
Yeah. I really hope somebody forces Ezra Miller to get help, because I mean his actions aren't the actions of a well person. So I just hope they get the help they need. All right, what's next?
Thomas BDL, 1 of 4. Hi, John and team. Severance, We Crashed. The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. Pachinko. I don't know if anyone noticed, but Apple TV has essentially been releasing a small masterpiece every single week recently. Tomorrow's the premiere of Slow Horses, Gary Oldman's TV debut in a big role.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Nope,
a huge...
you're not done.
Sorry, I got 2 more.
Oh.
And I just read that they're making a space race movie starring Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson, directed by Jason Bateman. I absolutely love the sound of that. Is it just me, or is Apple slowly but surely becoming the service with the highest quality content?
Listen, we said a while ago, people will look at me funny when I said, 5 years from now, I remember this, somebody wrote in once and said, 5 years from now, what are going to be the 3 big streamers? And I included in that Apple. And people laughed at me. And I said, Apple has the money to buy and, other than Amazon, to buy and sell all the other streamers combined 5 times over. They have all the money in the world to invest. They have the determination that they want to get into this space. And they have a quality control process that they put in with all their other stuff that I can only assume they're going to bring to this here. Do not sell Apple short. Now, I haven't watched We Crashed yet, but I'm hearing really good things about it. But whether you're looking at things like Ted Lasso, or you're looking at things like right now Severance is
amazing.
So interesting. That's just an interesting show. I mean, they just doing some really good stuff.
I was telling Chris about The Shining Girls with Elizabeth Moss, which is based on an incredible novel that I loved, a horror-themed novel that's going to be 8 episodes long, and the trailers for it look amazing. And of course, For All Mankind. The last 2 episodes of the second season of that show, especially the last episode, is one of the greatest hours of TV I've seen in 20 years.
Invasion.
Oh, the After Party, which I think way too many
After
people
Party,
slept on.
yeah, a lot
that
of
show
people
is
slept on that.
incredible.
That's a
and
great
they
show.
just had an Academy Award-winning film.
Yeah.
They had Coda.
Yeah, I am telling you,
Right.
I am telling you, 5 years from now, I'm telling you, they are going to be, I think it's going to be them and Disney Plus. I really do. But we'll see. We'll see how it evolves. All right, what's next?
From Macaulay Culkin, 1 of 3. The music for Moon Knight is fitting. When we first see Steven, a man without love, plays aptly, fitting, and heartbreakingly later on.
I can't find it.
I'm so sorry,
We'll just have to come
Macaulay.
back to it when we get
Yeah.
to it. But yes, the music in it has been
Really
fantastic.
good.
I mean, that's been a real strength of it, has been the music. It's been wonderful, both the song selection and the soundtrack.
Dude, anyone that uses Wham,
Love Wham.
I just got to get some Wham in there. Or what movie is it from again? Which movie is it where Ryan Reynolds says, Wham?
Deadpool.
What's that?
Deadpool.
Oh, there was Deadpool.
Yeah.
That's right. For some reason, I was thinking it was just Friends, but you're right. It was Deadpool. Wham! All right, what's next?
Daryl Best Wadley. When Hawkeye grabbed Steven's hand, Hawk grabbed Steven's hand and said, "There's chaos in you." Was he talking about chaos magic like in WandaVision?
No, I think that when he's literally talking about chaos, like he's trying to judge him, but there was multiple people in there, so it was going to. And so
Exactly.
no, he wasn't talking about chaos magic. He was just talking about literal chaos. Good question though, Daryl.
That part was awesome.
That was so good.
So good.
All right, what's next?
Edmontonian sending some Oilers love after they beat the Kings.
Oh, even they got to get a win now and again, Edmontonian. These ain't the days of Yari Curry and Paul Coffey and Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier. Come on, you got to get something where you can. All right, what's next?
Sal B. I put up with the Flash CGI for the first few sessions. Moon Knight is fine.
Yeah, again, we're talking about the things about Moon Knight. It's like every once in a while, I think a lot of the CGI Moon Knight look great. There are moments in Moon Knight when the CGI is, oh, that's right, this is being done on a television budget. A healthy television budget, but a television budget nonetheless. And like the logs part, I thought, well, okay, well, that's a little... but there were some good moments, too, for the CGI. What was your thoughts of the CGI?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I thought it was great. What do you want me to say?
All right.
The Jackal looked great.
No, I thought it was really well done.
Okay, what's next?
Sal Texas Shark. So, does Chris have a gallon of tea with her? Just sipping over here.
She's just ready to go. All ready to
Sipping
go.
and thinking about Morbius.
All right, what's next?
Justin Lee, can you take us through your process of going through the news every day? How many sources, how long, the selection process, etc.?
All right, just real quick. It's probably altogether about, I'll say about a 4-hour process. I have about 30 news sources that are my main ones, and I will go to other ones too if I'm directed to them. I do an initial scan of those. I usually come up with about 12 to 15 ones. I denote those. I come back once I've gone through everything. I go back to those 12 or so. I go through and I figure, okay, what are going to be our 4 or 5 for those days? I set those aside. Once those are aside, I start reading all the articles on them. I start pulling the most important piece of information to share with you in our infographics like this one that's up there right now. And once I then create the headlines, do a little bit of research for my own notes, just decide what's going to be the text on the thumbnail, all that kind of stuff, I then put together the doc, basically the episode doc that I put together that I send out to everybody, particularly to Ray, because then Ray takes that stuff and he starts putting together the images based on all the outline notes. So I'd say that just that part of the process is 4 to 5 hours, probably.
You realize this guy's starting a YouTube channel. He's furiously taking notes right now over everything that you do.
Yeah, that's basically the process of just the part about selecting news stories. So that's the part on that. All right, what's next?
Right, from, these are all repeats. There we go. Fifi, movie club idea. Lawrence of Arabia? I mean, it's only 4 hours long.
No, Lawrence of Arabia will be, I mean, to me, it's a top 10 greatest film of all time. So Lawrence of Arabia, one of these days, will absolutely be one of the movies for Movie Club. And Ray is already stressing out.
Do it for the last movie club that I'm going to be on.
All right.
You're in for a treat.
That's one where we'll
this
tag
week.
You are
out.
in for a treat, do with aliens.
All right, from Justin, excuse me, that's a repeat. From Aiden Foley.
No, DMP.
Oh, sending in a $5 super chat. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
DMP.
Aiden Foley. Hey, Campea people. Going to watch Morbius right after the show's over.
Me too.
I've been parading around like a moron for years that this movie is going to be great. I'm looking forward to being an outcast. Maybe it will be.
Justification, sweet vindication is coming for those of us who have believed in Morbius. Sweet vindication is coming just hours from now. We will come out and revel in the glory of Morbius. All right, what's next?
From the Mad Titan. Maybe Arthur put the glasses in his shoe to atone for how dirty he's going to get his hands in the future. His goddess seems into that.
I don't know, man, but that's a hell of a way to start the show.
Oof.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking the glass, opening the show with breaking glass, pouring the broken glass in your shoes, and then putting the shoes on and walking around. I'm like, what is happening?
Well, when you're a religious zealot, you have to make sure your goddess knows you're committed.
But I mean, listen, if you want to get, you want an episode to grab you by the throat right off the bat.
Oh, it was great.
That's
Yeah.
what they did
Absolutely.
in Midnight. That was an awesome
It
show.
doesn't beat the Quiet Place nail.
No,
Oh.
it doesn't beat the Quiet Place Nail,
I can't watch that.
but it was pretty damn good. All right, what's next?
MP. The Batman 2022 villains were fine. But when will we see the return of that shark that was in Batman 1966? He has to be plotting something.
If you guys have never seen this scene, you got to look it up on YouTube. Where Batman is holding onto a rope from the Bat helicopter, I think it is. Meanwhile, he's got this giant rubber shark attached to his leg. And he's trying to shake the shark off his leg. And then at which point, he obviously reaches into his Bat utility belt and pulls out a canister clearly labeled Bat Shark Repellent.
Gotta be
Hey, man.
prepared.
You all got to walk around with shark repellent in your.
Keep it in my purse.
And look, if he didn't have it, look what would have happened.
That's what King Shark is really sad about when he's looking out the window on that bus.
That's right. That scene in Batman. All right, what's next?
From Jasmine Jones. From what seeing now is that the Academy didn't ask Will Smith to leave.
Well, not according to the Academy. The Academy's official statement is we asked him to leave. So we'll see. We'll see as more information comes out. But it is important to note that the Academy is saying we asked him to leave.
Probably through his people.
Maybe. But, I mean, so we'll have to see what happens. There's a lot of details in this that are still pretty murky. So we'll see how it all turns out. All right, what's next?
From Devin again. You guys checked out Fresh on Hulu? So good.
Oh, that's the Sebastian Stan show.
one.
I still have not.
Still need to watch it.
I liked it. I liked a lot. The ending, we should talk about it, but I liked it.
Because you told me I should watch it.
Yeah, you
and
should
I'm
watch
very
it.
excited about
Is
it.
that a movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher again. John, you mentioned Orphan Black during the Moon Knight spoiler talk. Have you seen it? It's really good, especially given Maslany is joining the MCU.
Yeah, I did. I never saw the whole series. I did watch a bunch of it,
good.
but my thing
incredible.
was I'm really looking forward to Oscar Isaac. What I said in the spoiler discussion was I'm looking forward to Oscar Isaac start manifesting more of the personalities because I'd love to see him be given the opportunity that Tatiana Maslany got in Orphan Black, the way she got to play so many and really show off what she can do. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Oscar Isaac can do there. All right, what's next?
From Zashawn, sharing Netflix has not been piracy since they had profiles. If I get a password and create a profile, I'm utilizing their service, not pirating.
Yes, you are, because here's the thing. It is clearly within their terms of service. It is right there. And when you violate the terms of service, that is piracy. You can try to semantically dance around it all you want. But when they say you can use it this way, and then you exceed that and do it a way they specifically say they don't want you to use it, then you can semantically dance around all you want. It is piracy. So that's just the way it is. All right, what's next?
All right. Azdaga sending in some support. Thank you so
Azdaga.
much. Abraham Ruiz, my friend won't be here this weekend, so won't see Morbius till probably next week. Normally I'd be bummed, but with these reviews, I think I can wait.
Yeah, the reality is probably you're not mentioning much, but you go see it as soon as you can, though. Go see it as soon as you can. All right, what's next?
Jay Bling, Rob, 3 weeks in a row, you bring up Basic Instinct due to its 30th anniversary. What is your idea for Basic Instinct 3?
She has a protege.
Oh,
She has a protege that she is grooming.
played by Margot Robbie.
There
you go.
Like that.
Writes it itself.
Oh.
And Sharon Stone, executive, produces everything.
Yep. I think you got a winner right there. All right, what's next?
All right, from Brandon, your show helps me get through the long hours of work. So thank you, John and Crow.
Oh, thank you for being here, Brandon. We are only able to do the show because folks like you being here for it. So thank you so much, man. I hope you have a good day at work. All right, what's next?
John Redcorn, the Lakers are now out of play in contention. What an utter disgrace. This year has been a disaster. So glad I have winning time. That show is fire.
Listen, I'll tell you, Ray, did I not say before the season began and they added Carmelo Anthony and Russell Westbrook, did I not say this is going to be a mess? And you know what? They would still be okay if AD and LeBron had been healthy all season. But they still would have been okay. Not great. But yeah, no, this season turned out to be a mess. I still think they're going to get into the play-in game once AD and LeBron are back. They'll still get into the play-in. But it's been a mess, man. It's been a mess. All right, what's next?
From Ray Pora, there's something
Ray Pora.
There's something poetic about Will Smith voicing a fish named Oscar in Shark Tales and then making a bigger splash at the Oscars.
Well played, Wordsmith. I like that. I like that. Well said, Ray. All right, what's next?
From Chef Rigo, hope you had a super awesome birthday yesterday. Ray, did you play The Godfather yet?
No, because Rob is not bringing it in.
Oh,
You're supposed to let me borrow your PS2 disc, please.
You're right. I will do that.
All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher. Something really cool I learned is that reigning Best Supporting Actor Troy Kotsur developed the Tuscan Sign Language and was in Mandalorian Season 1. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's a cool connection.
Yeah. He's incredible.
I mean, I love finding
cool
out little
dude.
stuff like that. That is really cool to me. All right, thanks for sharing that, Sam. All right, what's next?
Yellow CT. Has Will Smith ever played a bad guy? If not, he should now.
No, but honestly, I No, I don't think he has.
Well, Hancock wasn't. He wasn't totally good.
But he
Hancock.
wasn't a villain. He wasn't the villain in that movie.
A reluctant hero who liked to drink.
That's true.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't think he's ever played a villain. Be interesting. But, after hearing the story about Django, and listen, this isn't a knock on Will Smith. A lot of actors do this. But if you ever heard the story in Django, because remember, it was supposed to be Will Smith that starred in Django. And Quentin Tarantino wrote it for him. He tried to get him to be in it. But Will Smith refused to do it because it was the Doc character that ends up killing the
Calvin.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Calvin Candy character. And he thought Django should kill him and kill all the bad guys. And Quentin's like, no, that's not the way my story unfolds. My story unfolds this way. And that's a very important moment for the character. And because of that, he refused to be in the movie. So then he went out and got Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx did it and got, Oscar buzz and things like that. And so it's not surprising that he has to play bad guy. But listen, that's not a knock on Will Smith, because there are a lot of actors who are very carefully trying to manage their professional image about the characters they play. And so Will Smith's not alone in that. He's not alone in that. But it is interesting. I would love to see him play a villain, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I would
I'd be
too.
fascinated to see him play a villain. I think it'd be really cool. All right, what's next?
Film Code Podcast. Just saw Rambo First Blood for the first time.
Nice.
Really loved it. Looking forward to finishing that series.
And of course, the name of the movie is First Blood. I don't think they've officially changed it. It was never called Rambo First Blood.
No, it was always
just
First Blood.
First Blood. It is for those of you who haven't seen the original movie, it's very different from any of the other Rambo movies.
But Rambo was called Rambo First Blood Part 2.
That's right. That's right, it is. But Brian Dennehy was the town sheriff.
And David Caruso was like his lieutenant.
It's a totally different movie. It's really a movie about a soldier who got messed up.
Yeah.
And trying to come home and figure out where his place at home is again.
Did I ever tell you the first time that I saw First Blood, I was at a bidding screening and they forgot to send the last reel of the movie?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, come on.
Oh my gosh.
All right, what's next?
Alex Holt. So Will Smith flat out refused to leave after the Academy asked him to. Does this change any of your opinions on him keeping his Oscar?
Okay, let me say this. Even if they straight up told him to leave and he just straight up said no, I still don't think you take away his Oscar.
I agree.
It still
Stand by
has
that, too.
nothing to do with the performance he gave. It still has nothing to do with the fact that the Academy voted on it. You still, in my opinion, do not take away his Oscar.
No.
Do you drop a heavier hammer, and instead of like a 2 or 3 year suspension, do you make that a 10-year suspension or a lifetime suspension? Maybe. I don't know. But again, that's only if the story begins and ends with they told him to leave and he said no. Because like I said, if I'm Will Smith and one said you got to leave, but then the producer of the show said no, you don't got to leave, then I'm just going to stay sitting right there until they come to me together and tell me what to do. And if they don't, then I'm just going to stay in the seat. That's if I'm Will Smith, I'm staying there too. So we'll see how this all shakes out. All right, what's next?
Taki75, Thanos. I wiped out half of all the universe. Agatha. I killed a dog. Thanos. You monster.
No, but that's the one thing, right? You want to make sure that Agatha's seen as a villain. I killed the dog.
Yeah.
I mean, that's totally how you make them a monster. Totally how you do it. All right, what's next?
Raymond Verrata. Is Dracula public domain? Can Disney make a movie?
I believe Dracula is public
I
domain.
think it is public domain too.
I mean, that's why Blade can do a movie with Dracula. Although I think everybody'd like to forget that movie. But yeah, I think Dracula himself is public domain, as is now. What didn't they just do? Winnie the Pooh was about to become public domain.
Yes.
I think so.
As long as it's not red shirt Winnie the Pooh, because that is specific
Yes.
to Disney.
Oh,
James Bond is public domain in Canada.
The Wizard of Oz is public domain. I mean, there's a lot of these public domain things. All right, what's next?
From Guillaume Labelle. Just saw everything
By
everywhere.
the way, it's Guillaume.
Guillaume, thank you so much. I'm so sorry I always get that wrong.
I did too.
Just saw everything everywhere, and it's the craziest batshit insane film I've ever seen. It's also got a lot of heart and emotions. Solid A+.
I have just, it's hard to explain the movie. It's really difficult to explain it. You just got to see it. And all I'll say again, I said this before, so I'll say it one more time. If you like the movie Ratatouille you are in for a treat. That's all I'm going to say.
Confused by that.
I know it's going to be totally confusing, but you'll see what I mean. All right, what's next?
From Tim, Morbius sounds like it was produced by Adam Aaron and Dan Snyder.
For those of you who aren't into the sports world, Dan Snyder is the much embattled owner of the Washington football. What are they called now? The Washington
Washington football.
Senators?
Oh yeah.
Generals.
Generals?
This is the
No,
Washington-
Generals is Globetrotters. It's
the Commanders.
Is it
Commanders.
Commanders.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, yes. So what the
Nice.
team formerly known as the Washington Football Club, now known as the Commanders. All right, what's next?
Chase, come out to the coast. We'll get together. We'll have a few laughs. Bruce Willis is officially Red retired and extremely dangerous. I know 2 different movies. Don't care. Had to. Oh, okay. In Red, that's the whole acronym. Did y'all see Red? It's a
Oh,
good
I
movie.
love Red.
I loved Red.
Retired Extremely
Yeah.
Dangerous. I still remember, like, I went and interviewed the cast for that movie.
Oh.
And that was a huge ball. Red 2, not so good.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Yeah.
But the first Red movie, Carl Urban's in that, by the way. Yeah, he wasn't that first one, right?
No.
Maybe he was in the second. I thought it was Carl Urban
I
in
don't
the
remember
first.
seeing him
But
in
at
that.
any rate, maybe I'm confusing the two a little bit. But yes, I adored that movie. I thought that movie was great. All right, what's next?
Casey Mack, 1 of 2. Hey, John and crew. Well, A24 has done it again. They've made me love another one of their movies. I saw Everything Everywhere all at once. I think a comedy like this has to had me laugh so hard in a long while. It was crazy, wacky, and funny. I really enjoyed it. And yes, I would also put it in one of my top movies I've seen this year.
Listen, I'm telling you, it is in a battle right now for me for best movie of the year so far over with The Batman. I mean, it's so good. It's so crazy and so good. And I just loved it. And we laughed and cried a little bit in it too. It's gorgeous and beautiful and fun. Check it out when you get a chance. I'm glad you liked it, KC. All right, what's next?
From Kevin Cow. I can't wait for 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. Will feel like a movie, I hope. Congrats, Chris, on your new ride. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, I have not seen Chris's new car yet. Chris Carr got herself a new car.
I did. It's so cute. It's like driving
Is
a
it the
spaceship.
hybrid version or the all electric?
It's all electric.
It's the all electric.
Yeah.
Good on you.
I'm so excited.
And
I'm
you guys
so
have a charger at your place
We
too,
do,
right?
yeah.
And it's free. Mm-hmm. That's
That was the
bonus.
big deciding factor was, we can charge for free here? Oh, you are getting all electric.
Because I mean, even if you're even if you're paying for it, you're like filling up on $12.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Hyundai
yeah.
gives you a
Electricity.
card too to fill up for like a certain amount of time, but it covers basically like your first 3 months of charging anyway. So
Yeah. Most of
Yeah,
my charging is free too because I've got, you guys know,
Solar.
I put up some solar panels just to turn my office, like the office and all of our equipment in here runs off of solar power now. And then what I do at the end of the day is I run an extension cord from the batteries that the solar panels feed in here that we run everything in the studio off of. I run an extension cord from my driveway in here, and then I dump all the extra power that's in the batteries into my Tesla. So that pretty much, maybe like once a month, I have to plug my car into the wall.
Oh, nice.
To get electric. But most of I get it for free too. So like, I'm so happy for you, Chrissy.
me
You got-
too. I love it.
All right, what's next?
All right, from Ulatan. What would the world look like if Henry Cavill's Clark Kent was raised by Kevin Costner, John Dutton instead of John Kent?
A very different place. It would be a very different Superman if Kevin Costner's John Dutton from Yellowstone ended another farmer in a way instead of Pa Jonathan Kent. It would be a very different world. I
But
love
an
that,
interesting
Kevin.
one.
Yeah, I want to see that what if story.
Yeah.
Kevin, I want to see that, or not Kevin, sorry, on Ulatan. I want to see that what if story for sure. All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher. What's everyone's favorite pilot episode? Mine is Psych. While the show doesn't find its footing till episode 3, it really establishes the character dynamic.
You all know what I'm going to say, right? I said I think it's one of the best. First episode, Heroes. The pilot episode of Heroes absolutely had me 100% hook, line, and sinker on that show. So my favorite pilot of all time is Heroes. What about you, Rob?
Might be The Sopranos.
Sopranos is a good one.
Yeah.
Might be The
Yeah.
Sopranos.
Ray, you got a favorite first episode of show, Eugene?
Only one I can think of it right now is Moon Knight.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's pretty
That's a good
great.
one.
Chris?
Pushing Daisies.
Oh, that's a
I
good
totally
one.
one's good
forgot about that
too.
show.
Great. I
Breaking
loved
Bad
that
is a good
show.
pilot too.
You know what? It took me a few episodes to get into Breaking Bad.
I never
I'm not
could.
the biggest fan of like the first episode or two, but it did enough to get me into
I
it.
have a hard time watching assholes be assholes.
All right, what's next?
From Daryl Best Wadley, will Disney cancel Will Smith's Disney Plus show?
I don't know that it was going to get another season anyway, so I don't know if even that's even something that's a possibility or even on the table, Daryl. It's an interesting question, though. All right, what's next?
From MP, I thought they had the Joker blurred in the Batman. They might decide to change his look. The actor would look cool with a Killing Joke aesthetic.
Well, they definitely did have him blurred.
Yeah.
I mean, in that scene with Batman, they definitely made a very creative choice to keep a little bit of an air of mystery about only once in a while having a part of his face coming into.
Yep.
Just like his
I thought it
mouth.
was a very interesting creative choice.
I did too.
Again, I think it was the right move to keep it out of the movie. But what I said before, I'll say again. They either should have taken both of the scenes out or maybe kept both of them in, but they just, whatever. All right, what's next?
From the Mad Titan, Braveheart for movie clip?
Oh, absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000% Braveheart will be in movie club one of these days. All right, what's next?
From Bailey Fuller, did you like The Devil All the Time? It's one of my faves.
Which one's that again?
Is that the Netflix movie that had Tom Holland in it?
Oh, yeah. No, actually, I didn't. Between that one and this other one, Cherry. Yeah, I got to tell you, I didn't hate either of them.
No.
I honestly didn't think either were all that good, to be honest with you. And no fault of Tom Holland. I didn't think either of them were all
He
that
shows up
good.
and he does the work regardless of what he's in.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Chris Herman, the fish is Mephisto. Mephisto.
Mephisto! That's the goldfish. I had a couple people write in on the spoiler discussion yesterday saying the goldfish is Mephisto. I was like, you knew Mephisto had to come in here soon. All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher, why move Kenobi? The 45th anniversary was perfect.
It was perfect, Sam. I have no idea what they're thinking or why they're thinking about moving that. It makes no sense to me, but whatever. Okay, next.
Gary Madigan, saw Morbius. Oh my God, the post-credit scene is bad.
I've heard that. We've been hearing that for a few weeks that the post-credit scene's really bad. So I'm like, now I'm dying to see it. I got to say, how do you make a bad post-credit scene? I guess we will find out here soon. All right, what's next?
The Red Arrow 1316. I find it hilarious that John gets to watch Morbius and feel exactly how Ray felt when he watched Moonfall. Hope you enjoy it, John, but I'll pass on it.
You've heard me tell the story, but I got to tell you this again. One of the best moments for me is we were driving. Ray and I were driving to go see Moonfall. Ray had been dying to watch this movie, dying to see Moonfall. And as we're driving, I bring up, like with the aliens and everything. And Ray was like, wait, there's aliens in this? I'm like, yeah, man, it was in one of the trailers. It's aliens causing it. It's like, I don't know if I want to see this movie now. I'm like, what do you think it was? I just thought it was the moon having enough of what's going on. I think the moon had taken enough shit and was going to attack the earth. But maybe that's going to be exactly how I am coming out of Morpheus, or I keep wanting to say Morpheus, coming out of Morbius.
great.
Maybe that's exactly how I'm going to feel about it. All right, what's next?
From Hoop Suni, it's been a while since I've seen a terrible movie in theaters. Kind of looking forward to it.
I saw Moonfall not so long ago. So Morbius might be right up there with it, Hoopsuni. All right, what's next?
Duck Cookie, do you think they'll be able to sell more ad space at next year's Oscars? I got tired watching the same 10 Hulu ads. The CNN Plus ad popping up felt like the sampling of variety I was starving for.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like whoever's willing to put up the money and buy those ad spots.
I think people are going to tune in just to see like what happens.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll be honest with
Unfortunately.
you. This year's Oscars, the viewership was up 56%. Now, it had nowhere to go but up after last year's.
Yeah.
But still, went up 56%. We'll see what happens next year.
It'll be up.
You think so?
It'll
You don't
be
think-
up
You don't
that
think
first.
that all the drama like turned everybody off?
Eh.
It'll be
be up.
interesting. I hope you're right.
Oh.
I hope you're right. All right, what's next?
From Christopher James, do you think that WB will replace Ezra Miller digitally in the upcoming Flash movie? Will another actor like they did with the movie Army of Dead? Zack Snyder replaced Chris D'Elia with Tig Notaro.
But they didn't do it digitally. Right? I don't think they did it.
No, they had.
Tig filmed everything separately from everyone.
Yeah.
And I believe
And then
she
they
was
could just
on a green
composite
screen.
her
Yeah.
in with it. It's not like they brought it into an editing suite and digitally,
Yeah.
matte painted her face on things like that.
And Tig
Listen,
also isn't the lead.
That's the thing. Tig is only in a certain amount of that movie.
She does great. She's so good.
She's great. I love her in Star Trek Discovery, by the way. But he's the lead of the film. He's in a whole ton of the film. I don't know that they have that option, but after all the stuff that's coming out now, you might have no choice but just to hire a new actor and reshoot the damn thing. I mean, that seems inconceivable, but it might be what they have to do right now. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens next. All right, what's next?
Oh, we finally get the second part of Anish.
Oh, there it is.
So Oscar Isaac is doing a Cockney accent. Yes, mostly associated with the working class. Some people in the States hear Bond or Sherlock and think that only the received pronunciation accent exists, also known as the Queen's English. So, yeah, can I talk about this?
Sure.
Everyone was like, the accent's so bad. I live with a dialect coach, y'all, who specializes in this. It's a great working class dialect. There's so many, like, just like there are here in the States, right? I have an accent. I've got my Southern accent. Texas accents are different from, Georgia or other places. In the UK, we have a whole myriad of different accents that not only have to do with where you are, but kind of your place in the world as well. And I think he's killing it with that.
Oh, yeah.
Also, the Queen's English, basically, RP, that's the royal family is the only people who speak that, right? That very, very goose-lipped, everything moving very, very forward. So, he's doing a great job.
I could hear you doing a whole show in that.
Yeah,
Please. I want to hear a whole episode.
Can you do my voicemail right now?
Oh my gosh, I'll do it. You've reached Ray Aura. She's not available.
Yes. All right, what's next?
All right, from Noah Chant. Hi, John and crew. Would love your take on this. I know I'm in the minority on something like this, but with the multiverse stuff, I would love to see Disney do their own version of Star Wars 1 through 9.
No. Look. If and when it's time to reboot Star Wars, you want to do that, you go for it. But you take episodes 1 through 3 and you burn them with fire, and you never go back and revisit those again. If they want to reboot Star Wars, you reboot them. But until that time. Now, I mean, look, the thing about Star Wars is it never needs to be rebooted. The universe is so big. They literally say billions of worlds and stuff like that and move forward in time. If they decide to do it, that's fine. I'm okay with it. Reboot everything. But only once you've said we're not doing any more of this timeline of Star Wars. But you take episodes 1 through 3 and you burn them with fire. And then take episode 9 and burn it with fire. Burn everything with fire except for the original trilogy. There you go. That's how you do it. You burn everything with fire except for the original trilogy. Even some of the other stuff that I like. All right, what's next?
Now we just end with a whole bunch of support. We've got James Boner. We've got Paul Dog. We've got the man with the master plan. And Frito. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys so much for sending that in and supporting us. And guys, that'll do it for this episode of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in the super chats. Number 1, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number 2, you supported this channel as you did it. And all of us involved with the John Campea Show, thank you guys so much for your support. I want to thank the people around the room with me. We got Robert Meyer Burnett. That's not him. Robert Meyer Burnett. We got Chris Carr. We got Ray Orr. We got myself, John Campea. Don't forget to come back and join us again for the John Campea Show tomorrow as we talk about our life-altering experience watching Morbius. We hope it'll be a good thing. Anyway, my name's John Campea, guys, and until next time, bye-bye.